we have some intros? Hey. We are live now.
Yay.
Hello.
Morning.
Trying to do a magic.
You are trying to do a magic.
Yes. Trying to do 1 times magic, please. I would appreciate one.
Wouldn't we all? Wouldn't we all?
Yeah?
Yes?
Yeah, yes, please. It's been a week. It's been a week since we last played.
A week? Time
That's
is
ridiculous. How dare we?
Oh,
we need to do better.
Well, the funny thing about all this is that when I was a teen, it was like the routine was that I would get home, unpack my bags, and all of my friends would show up at the front door, so we could spend the next 3 hours, doing valuable things, not homework. I mean gaming, and then they'd all scatter at just before my supper time, and head back to their places, and that was basically. And then my parents would almost invariably ask me at supper time, knowing very well what my afternoon had been, how well I'd done on my homework, and I would smile about as well as could be expected, and we'd go through the same routine every day at supper. It was practically before there was a word for it. But yeah, so what do you mean we've only been gaming once a week?
Honestly, that's rude of us.
It is. I really feel. Oops, I'm hearing me on loop. Which, I mean, I suppose I could do some beatboxing. Used to that, but
We're hearing you on loop, but the stream was not hearing you on loop. It was because I was listening to stream to check that the audio was okay.
Very good.
But I didn't have headphones plugged into my listening device. So.
Yeah. Okay. So we're playing a game or something, I think is the plan here, yes?
I think
yes.
I've heard that rumor, yes.
And I am eating food because if I don't, this guy that's down here will not leave me alone.
Goodest boy.
He's the goodest boy, and he is known as currently an ADHD body double. Mm-hmm. He reminds me that I need to complete a task. Mm-hmm. He doesn't tell me which one. He never tells me which task, but he says I'm running late.
That sounds more like an anxiety body double. Put that out there.
You're late.
Problem is that it works just whenever the dog appears. It's like, I'm probably forgetting something. The dog's like, yeah. Oh, good. Thank you for that.
Oh, it was like a demon. Whoever did that, it was like a demon. I looked away for 5 seconds, and then there was demon in my ear, and I came back.
Oh, it's demon magic.
Yes.
Yes, you have to be more specific when you ask to do one times magic. Otherwise, the GM gets to pick.
No.
Oh no. Well, I wanted magic. We got chaos magic. Oh no.
Oh no.
About that WandaVision, yeah.
Oh no.
I haven't seen it. No spoilers. No spoilers.
Fine. Sorry. Interesting ending.
I haven't watched any of the show yet. Here it's good though.
I haven't watched the last episode, but I've been enjoying it very much.
My son absolutely adores it. He says it pretty much hits all of the right notes. A couple of Johnny-come-lately feminists, such as myself, are vaguely offended about a reoccurring theme that we're starting to see in Wonder Woman 1984 and WandaVision. But yeah, from a strictly technical perspective, it's a well done ending. It makes sense, and the way they do the exposition is very clever.
I liked. How do I say this? No spoilers. I like that it deals with grief well. There
yes,
I think think that's pretty
Oh,
clear.
that's a good way to put it. It's grief in writing of any kind is one of those subjects which tends to be taken tritely as a base motivation without nuance. And I think they have avoided that with WandaVision.
Yep. Anyway, that's for our podcast, which you can find on.
I would absolutely adore doing a talk show style podcast with you all sometime. I think it would just be hysterical to realize that there's a bunch of people sitting out there just literally listening to us blather on in a format that's different than the one they usually listen to us blather on.
One of my favorite podcasts, as part of like their Patreon only rewards, have a clapcast. I don't know if you've heard of this. It is just like a clap like clapping.
That's what I thought I heard. What did you think I said?
I thought you said appcast.
I heard Appcast as well.
I heard
you, Shawnee.
I heard clap.
Yes, but what I thought you said was app.
Anyway, a clapcast.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. Puck.
It's just a recording of the like 30 minutes before show and like some of the after show of them just like shitting around talking before they do their show.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Make content out of your non-content. Am I
and that's
right?
it, right? Like it's not core content, but it's just like cool people being amusing and talking to each other.
Yeah.
The very first like voice acting thing I did was an audiobook that now a friend of mine who was putting together because she had a bunch of other books published, but no one wanted this particular like young adult fantasy novel of hers. So she's like, screw it, it's a podcast now, and it's going out chapter by chapter.
Oh wow!
And so then a mutual friend was like organizing and basically called me and goes, "Hey, I want to play this character," and I was like, "Yeah." And then I rocked up, and it turned out it was like the whole thing was like there was like 5 of us, and it was like, all right, this chapter has these characters. Who wants to play what? So we all had our main characters, and then we just did the rest.
Yeah.
But then like a year or so later, when they actually got released it.
Sweet.
We before each episode came out, we all got back together and just like discussed that chapter, and we listened to it again. And I had a number of people being like, "Yeah, I don't really care for the book, but I really love the conversation." I was just like, "Okay, as long as you're listening to it, we don't care."
Doesn't matter as long as you're engaging with the
like,
content.
This is like the other is like, we don't like the book, but we like you talking about the book. Like, okay,
whatever does it for you, buddy.
Yep. Right then, something Monsters in the Dark. Let's do this. No? Fine.
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Scary.
there's only half as many as there were last week. Surely the problem is only half as big.
But that's not a bad. The issue with it is it was a very big problem to start with.
All right. So put in the tweet, it's like something cornered animal.
Yeah. So, Chevalier, why don't you give us a synopsis of recent events? Everyone, Chantal has insisted that I'm always this close to the microphone, and I just can't help but do odd voices and odd resonances when I do this. So it's on her. You'll all have to blame her for that.
I'm happy to be blamed for it. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yes, but Nadine really didn't like this one.
It scared me. It's not my fault that it scared me.
When you see it coming, it's still off-putting, but you know.
I mean, we have to blame Nadine now because they had a response, and so that is how things work.
All you're doing is feeding my insatiable need for attention. So, please do.
Win.
Everyone wins here. Welcome to Unlawful Disorder, where everyone
wins.
The rules are made up.
Everyone wins, the points don't matter.
Everyone wins and the points don't. Wait, no, the points matter if I'm winning.
Anyway, I think we were playing a game. I think.
It's how much I'm winning.
Very loud.
Blame shot.
I usually do.
All right. So yes, Chevalier.
We stopped over at some kind of way station during our travels through the underworld, but discovered that there were 2 Velbedran in the inn that we were staying. Knowing how dangerous this was, how much of a threat to everyone else this was, we attempted to lure them out into an ambush, but we were unsuccessful and instead ended up in a straight up fight as they tried to come around and ambush us in turn. I attempted to prevent them from being able to reach the others by engaging a security system in the building a drop palisade. I discovered, though, that their venom, that they spit, is magically infused and can still affect me despite my mechanical nature. However, between us, we were able to take one of the 2 Velbedran down, and we are now engaged in a chase with the remaining one. We have it somewhat cornered, slowed, stunned, but it is still very dangerous. And I have not yet been able to clear all of the poison from my system. And it is making things much more difficult.
All right. Spider, if you'd be so kind.
Mate, if I didn't have such a cool name already, I would consider renaming myself Skillshot, because I never bloody miss, do I?
We'll go with that. Sure, keep going.
Yeah, we killed one of the blood drinking bastards, and we're chasing down the other one. And I took a pot shot at it in the dark and managed to hit a kneecap. So, on you now, Tin Can.
All right then, Alexandre.
You're fighting a Velbedran. Valier jumped out of a window.
I forgot about that.
Yes,
that was great.
I did not forget. As in, I found it. And I also found someone that was bleeding, so now we have someone well, but another win.
Another win for me. Shut up. Your ass was in the way the entire time, and then we were in the dark, and then the metal man threw himself out of a building like I was supposed to be able to do that.
If
And then
you could look at something else, it might help you.
Would love to. It takes up all of my vision.
Well, stop looking at it.
How else am I supposed to stop looking at it? Do you want me to close my eyes?
Well, Lily, you're too close. Back up.
Ladies, you're both pretty, but could she continue?
Anyway, I wasn't going to jump out of a window because I'm not an idiot. So now I just want to hit the thing. I feel like I deserve it. It's fine. I'm not sour about it. It's fine.
So, and of course, Lucas, everyone made sure that Lucas had no idea what Roy Chevalier had done for fear that Lucas would follow. So instead, Lucas is following she and Alexandre. Renamala, because she knew that, literally just got Chevalier to lend a little bit of skilled assistance by throwing her transporter back across the river and simply teleport her across the river from the window. So outside the...
I think we have to sort out your mic, Michelle. I
Yeah,
think it's very
to
bad.
say that we.
I think it's your compression. You've turned up the gain, but your compression is still super, like, slamming it down. So every time it will just go from really loud to being slammed down again.
One second. No, look. There was a cat visiting my soundboard.
In the meantime, I think that in another world, she and Alexandre, like Alexandre is probably teaching she how to braid their hair. And like they do makeup on each other, and there's like pillow
Is this
fight.
a plug for your other show?
Which game are we playing in this one? This is not.
And then they
This is just a
teach each other how to
right?
sword fight. This is still Good Society.
I think we've managed to wind up with a couple of people I know who, when I explained to them that you had a role-playing game that was Jane Austen involving queers, were basically, I need this, give me the URL now or I'll hurt you. Yeah.
Your compression is still slamming.
Yeah.
Slamming there.
Figure out why.
I didn't hear that, except for why. So I can work it out.
Can you like reset your settings? Like just default them?
I'll try, sure. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure the problem is Zoom, but I can't figure out how to.
See, it was all right when you were right in the mic, and then as soon as you lifted your head away,
yeah, but it's because he's so close that it's so loud that there is no compression. The compression is like, I give up. So I don't want you to keep turning up the gain and then
touching the soundboard, because I know those settings are right. So that's the catch. I'm looking at my input levels from the microphone, and yes, the input level is 3/4 on half or 3/4 of the bar all the time.
Yeah.
And then about halfway through me speaking this long, it just vanishes. So that looks like gating to me. Turn that off.
Gotcha. Sword fighting, crossbow, bolting, and...
Alexandre doesn't know.
Hey, Alexandre, do you know how to ride a lizard horse?
Okay.
No.
You know if this is any better?
Possibly.
Could you quote some more stuff?
Yeah. Speak a little bit more.
Okay, so that's what I was trying to do. It's just as soon as somebody else starts speaking, I automatically stop. So yeah. So this is basically Zoom at default settings. So let me know how this sounds. My input level looks trash at this point.
Yeah, you're quiet, but you're not gating.
You're quiet, but you're not getting compressed, which is
a step up. Yeah.
Let me know if that works any better.
Yes.
yes. Keep talking.
More. Bit more.
Okay. So how about that?
Yes.
All right. So it looks like the answer is that I actually have to leave Zoom on default settings and then regulate it at the soundboard. Because, yeah. And so this seems to be working better now. It's actually, yeah, fine.
Also, So
I don't know why it's different this week, because this is literally the opposite solution to the one we came up with last week, but I'll just nod yes today.
it's what I like to call tech.
You see, computers are designed to make our lives easier.
You
It's
can
almost,
finish the
it's almost like
No, I
Chevalier
couldn't.
jumping out of a
Couldn't get through it.
window.
All right, so meanwhile, back at the ranch. So yes, so the way I have it is that Lucas, of course, the concern was that if anyone had told Lucas where Chevalier had gone, Lucas would go where Chevalier had gone using the same method of conveyance. So now, wisely, the two ladies in question did not tell Lucas where Chevalier had gone. On the other hand, Renamala, who has the ability to use her chair as a teleport device, had Chevalier toss the transport target across the river, and simply beamed herself onto the battlefield, as it were. So that is the current. State of affairs. So Lucas, Alexandre, and she are upstairs in the inn, with a bit of hiking to do to get down the stairs, across the whole width of the inn, and outdoors. Whereas Chevalier can see the Ebon Elf Traveler, the finely dressed generic merchant woman, at the edge of his vision in the darkness ahead, literally just half lit and half shadowed details. Renamala can see her quite clearly, of course, being an Ebon Elf. And Jasper also can see her at the edge of his vision, and he's actually a good dozen paces behind Chevalier, so I'm not sure what the difference is. Just let me check Chevalier's token. I think we don't have his glasses turned on. His old vision. Just one sec. Spider. Does Spider have anything other than his glasses or a way to see in the dark?
Wait, no.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that he didn't have any particular superpower. 40, 23, 60. All right, that's very fascinating. Yeah, okay. Oh, I know. It looks better if I just turn it off. Oh, that's really weird.
Is it fair to say that we would all just run into range
Yes.
of said thing being?
Well, the catch is that essentially Jasper, Renamala, and Chevalier are going to get a round of blasting away at the thing if they choose, before the other three show up. Is sort of the issue at hand.
Yeah.
So,
I have a quick question. By the time that they're running, because she is almost at the bridge, is there windows that she could see out of?
Yes, there are several windows in the bridge.
Now, would she see everyone running towards whatever it was?
Yes. So if you look out the quote north windows, you can see the assembled heroes, and if you look out the south windows, you can actually clearly see the critter. Critter. Excuse me. The finely dressed generic universal Ebon Elf Traveler woman.
Yeah. Okay. Then in that case, she's gonna stay on the bridge because I think she just needs to be within sight. I don't know how this stuff works.
Yes,
it's a issue of range, but I think it's fairly generous.
Cool. Yes, as a minimum, you must have line of sight on your target. Yes.
Nice.
All right. So yeah. So Chevalier, what is your cunning plan, sir?
How far away from this thing? Like within? Am I within 30 feet? I think is the better question.
Yeah, you're just at the edge of that. It's 30 to 40 feet away. Yeah.
So if I double move, I can get to the.
Yeah.
Because I'm slowed currently.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very tired by the end of this.
Yeah. It's almost exactly 40 feet away from you, which is the reason it's at the edge of your vision.
I don't think I can do 40 feet. Then.
And
Throw
as I
something.
basically, so what you have is to the left is to the west of you is the side of the building of the inn. To the east of you is the riverbank with the water flowing past. It's roughly to the southeast of you, and it seems to be heading roughly southeast along the curve of the river towards where the swimming hole is. When the swimming hole does have some illumination around it.
All right. Yeah. I will reactivate battle trance.
All right.
So he reapplies the reinforced, the gray reinforcement on his for his armor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to move him double. He's slowed, so double moving is still 30 feet, but he's going to throw an axe, a hand axe.
Zoom.
He's going to overclock himself and throw a hand axe.
If you're double moving, does that not use your major action preventing you from attack?
I'm using reckless attack, which is by overclocking himself. So while I'm in battle trance, I can make an attack as a minor action. It just hurts me.
It just hurts you.
And I have to be able to take the damage first, which I do.
Yeah, so you can get down to about 10 feet, 3 meters away. That's easy.
Cool. Yeah. I'm just going to work out.
Oh, bloody hell. 1 sec. I just realized I don't have the book open.
Oh, that's
expert.
Great. 11.
That is absolutely a miss.
Yeah.
That much I know. I don't even have to look it up. There's all of the numbers are north of 16. So yeah.
Yeah, he just sort of like. He's grating against the gunk that's in his system. He's sort of, and it's just everything's just throwing him off.
Yeah, and I think just to make matters worse, what it's going to look like Chevalier is that he hurls the axe in the direction where it's supposed to be, and then it's very obvious that there's sort of this illusory movement where the ebon elf sort of smears to the right of where it's actually is. The axe passes where it was, and then it's just beside that point. So you were its illusory abilities are playing havoc as well with your ability to actually figure out where to attack is what's going on, I think. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, if that had been a regular human being, you've put if that had actually been just an ebon elf traveler, you'd have put an axe in its head. Yeah, all right. So Spider is going to have seen, of course, Chevalier charge southwards, and you can actually see Chevalier from the position. You can see him, the arm come back, the surge forward of action, the axe fly off into the towards the shadowy figure in the darkness. You don't hear it, but no sounds of connection. Possibly the sound of scattering a rock in the background. You are literally standing on the precipice of the rock bank. It's about a meter, mostly not quite straight down, but pretty damn close. It's like an 80-degree slope. They've built up the bank around the river here, so you're just a half step wrong way, and you'll be up to your waist in water. So what's so the fight is well south of you. What are you planning on doing?
I think I'll run my 30 feet towards the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Does that get me within sight with my?
Yes. Okay. So again, you've got the fancy glasses on, so you're seeing better than you're. Yeah. It's not that you've got daylight; it's that you don't have complete darkness. Is the best way of putting it, right? But yes, you are able to run forward. You can clearly see the ebon elf. You're about 30 feet away from her, and you're about 20 feet away from Chevalier.
Would there be like disadvantage on the attack?
I believe,
just given that I think the bonus thing my glasses was to get rid of the disadvantage, but I don't know if there's enough ambient light from other things here.
yeah, there are a few light sources all around. And so the way it would work, the way I'm doing it is that I've got to double check. I had written this down. There it is. So what the glasses do is basically remove the blindness condition from you as imposed by complete darkness. So normally you'd be, -5, well, if damage 5, the rest of it.
I think what Sam was asking is that each pair of glasses had its own special effect, and
yes.
I think his was particularly to
mine was
dim
to
light
avoid
one.
the disadvantage in combat.
Right. Yeah.
So I was wondering if there's enough ambient light from like the inn and the stables and stuff that others don't have to worry about that.
So for attacking purposes, everyone is at a disadvantage, one except you. That is the way it works. What the glasses do is they remove the 5 points of disadvantage that would be associated with even being able to spot anything, right? Because normally, if you are quote blind, you attack unless you've got smell or some other method of targeting. So the glasses, and then you've got whatever special ability the glasses have.
I didn't save my glasses. My glasses just they don't fall off, right? That was the thing.
Yeah, they actually. I have I can't find the sheet that I've got all your glasses written down on, but I know there was something special about them that was specific for towards Rotary.
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's
solid
right.
Oh yeah, because they were like sort of more webbed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that yes, correct. Yeah, those. So basically, nothing's able to sneak up on a blind spot with Spider.
Yeah, I thought there was like a chat about them not falling off when I go upside down, but I'll work that out later. Let's deal with what's in front of us. So Chevalier is engaged with the Velbladrone at this stage,
no,
or not? Just
like 10 feet away from it.
That's annoying. I guess I don't get lethal strike then. I will just roll a shot in the proverbial.
Yes, shot in the proverbial dark.
Oh, that one explodes. Oh, this is going to be pretty nice. 18 plus 1 is 19, and then plus 8 is 27, and reroll, and another explode. 35 plus 5, 40.
Oh, good grief. Versus guard, that is 19 points of damage.
Pew pew.
Yeah.
So it is now silenced by default because of my silencing strike. And I will also and it's still slowed, right, from before?
And stunned.
Yes, it's having a really bad day.
Are you stunned as well?
No, Renamala did.
Oh yeah.
She was like a taser arrow or something.
Yep, that makes sense. And Marla has never indicated that there's any reason to keep these things alive, right?
She's made it absolutely clear she hates them with a passion. They should all be burned to the ground from the toes up. I mean,
well, it's just there's just a bit about like someone let it in, and we could potentially question it.
Yes, but no, Renamala has never given any indication that she has.
Well, I think I'm going to add the knockdown status on top of all of that stuff. I will knock it over, and I'm going to shout to Renamala, "Can we question this thing?"
Okay. I think she's going to yell back, "I've never tried talking to one."
And how they look.
Yeah. I like shrugged, but like, I mean, I have told her already that someone let them in, so I figure she'll put the pieces together if it's relevant.
Yeah. All right. So that is Spider. Alexandri will come pelting down the stairs.
Outside. Just to the bridge is where I was headed.
Oh, that's right. You guys were heading back. Yeah, Lucas was heading down the stairs and out towards the front to come out the front of the inn. And the two ladies were charging back across the bridge towards the stables to get across it. Yeah, okay, right. So yes, you guys are going to be able to will be crossing the sky ramp at this point.
and most of the way down into the stairs into the stables proper.
If we can see it through the window, could we...
Oh, absolutely. If you want, yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Now, obviously enough, if you're casting something like lightning blast, you're probably going to do some damage to the window. But if all you're doing is looking at it and waving, yes, glass works just fine.
I mean, I was literally trying to melt it with entropy. I mean,
the window's not going to is going to have a bad day, but
Is it my turn after Alexandri's?
Yes.
Could I talk to you as we're on the way?
So yeah, so the initiative as I have it is Alexandria on 24, 22 is she, 19 is
I swear if it's to tell me, right, my butler. Until later.
It's not. She as like we're both kind of beelining towards the to the bridge. I'll say, we need to know how it got in. It doesn't just, they can't just get in. We need to know who let them in. And then we melt them. Just stop it. Stop it from doing anything. And I need to get into his head.
Alexandra stops.
Screech.
I have questions.
Oh, that was just an absolutely in my head a Looney Tunes moment. What?
There's like smoke coming off of Alexandra's legs.
I mean, it's Alexandra. She could actually do a record scratch.
Looks into the camera. So you're probably wondering why.
But not wrong.
How did we get here? What a hell of a
okay. Fine. Yeah, I'm going to try to immobilize it.
All right, and
with entropy, so I'd like to melt its feet and.
I'm sensing a particular level of malice here. But that's what. Yeah. So it's from where you ladies are at. Would be 25 feet. Give it another 10 for the vertical. It's about 35 feet away. 35, 40 feet. If that changes anything for the difficulty of your attack.
Can't imagine it would. You get to 50 feet range pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
Now, are you doing damage or a bane?
The bane of melting its feet into the ground.
The bane is immobile.
And I don't know about you, but having my feet melt into the ground sounds like pretty baneful.
Look, you're having a bad day if that's what's happening.
If that's what's happening to you.
It's a boon that way.
Yeah.
You want entropy versus toughness, then?
Yes, I do. I have that. Is the distance okay?
I'm just gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what I was checking.
I think it's like your attributes like 4 to 6, then the range of like non-weapon stuff is like 50 feet.
Nice.
How much?
16.
16 versus
toughness.
Would you believe its toughness is 17?
No! I would not believe it.
Scream!
Extra squeaky.
Did you stop it?
No, you told me not to kill it.
Yes, I quite clearly told you not to kill it.
I went too far in not trying to kill it.
Yeah, I overcorrected.
What did you do? Blow on it nicely?
I mean, is there a safe answer to that question?
This is less you're both pretty and more you've both been awful so far. So
You really have.
I didn't
So-
do anything.
Come on.
I'm just here.
Come on, this one's gotta be good.
I'm just here to run it. I'm just, like,
Hey, do
I
something.
just work here.
Please, somebody.
it's my first day.
Retire.
Well, you're
But
doomed.
also, no, of course I didn't blow it.
Okay, that is not what I asked, but okay.
Gee, do something.
Okay, all right. And she's gonna go up to the window and can she sorry.
There's a hole melted
Oh.
in the window.
Even better. She's
It's kind of jagged and pissy, like someone sprayed entropy on the glass. But yeah.
she will kind of like go to like brace herself on it and then go and kind of like lean out of it, and she's gonna shout while she's casting this. Shout at the Verbladran. Who let you in here? And she's going to cast Mind Dredge.
Right, roll it.
There's
Now
presence
on,
versus.
Excuse me, what?
Who let the dogs out?
Come on,
Playing
buddy.
in my head.
Let's go.
It's
Who
gonna
let
cost
the
mind
valves
what
in?
now?
Who?
Okay.
That is
That's a 22.
22 versus its resolve, right?
Yes.
Its resolve is a 19.
Yes. Yes. I have access to its current thoughts.
And thus you yelling the question is very clever, because almost it's the joke about don't think of a purple horse. It's all, even subconsciously, it's in just the job of tracking what it is you're not supposed to think of, right?
It's very smart.
Now I actually need to double check exactly how this spell works, because I believe what you actually get is a mental, essentially is what it's, you're not getting a teletype readout, with closed captions or what have you. It's more like it's a mental image or something like that of whatever it's thinking, right? You're not hearing the sound.
You
It's
gaze
just read
into the
their
mind of another creature and read their thoughts. And at power level 2, which is what I'm casting it at, I just gain access to the current thoughts. Later, I
If
can do
it's
like
power level
memories.
2, they have to be of animal level intelligence.
They're actually highly.
I don't know how sentient these things are.
Let's.
I mean, they've talked to us before.
Yeah.
So they're sentient. Like,
let me.
I don't know if language is an indicator of intelligence.
I mean,
like-
that I'm a
it
clip
means
that.
they can think, though.
I'm gonna clip
Yeah.
the hell out of that.
Their learning and logic stats are a 4.
Oh,
These things are highly intelligent. Okay.
Smarter than me.
Oh, so does that mean that I can't, like, it has to be an animal intelligence or lower?
No,
No, the other way around.
the other way around. If it's not at least an animal intelligence, it's incomprehensible. So, in other words, attempting to read the mind of a centipede is getting you nowhere.
no, it's the opposite.
No, it's the
Power may
opposite.
only target creatures of animal intelligence or lower.
Oh, interesting.
So
Yeah.
I hate
so
that.
Alexandria being able to
I
talk
hate
to a
that.
bird is
You
within
need
that.
you need to get at power level 4. It becomes
Well, how do I do that?
well. What's your prescience skill attribute at?
So you're telling me if I just bump my prescience up a little bit?
To
Because I'll
4.
do that. I'll do that.
If your prescience is 4,
If my prescience is 4, is that it?
Yeah. well, it's the maximum power level is equal to your attribute.
Oh, okay. I can easily change that.
Okay, so yeah, so it's and yes, because you haven't spent any points, have you? You've been hoarding.
No, actually, I've like given myself just a little bit of leeway recently.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. No. So the idea. So for lack of a better way of putting it, you are going to briefly contact this thing's mind before it shunts you out, and it is absolutely an alien intelligence. It is not thinking in a pattern which feels elven at all. Like you've, by definition, you've had to deal with humans and dwarves, and you've mind dredged a couple of them when they were being stupid about something, or just curious what their phone number was. Though they have generally the same priorities. Their thought patterns can be disarrayed, scattered, odd, but this is probably going to be the first actual alien sort of. It's the equivalent of trying to figure out how a scorpion looks at the universe around it. There's just but yes, you are unable to because of its way of thinking and its level of intelligence. It sort of realizes what you're attempting to do and sort of blocks you out.
Okay. They have eyes, right?
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Let me do it this way. Well, the thing on the floor you were looking at earlier, before it started melting, definitely had eyes. And the generic universal ebon elf merchant traveler woman certainly has eyes. Yes.
Okay. Then in that case, I'm not so much looking for, and this, you can say no, obviously. I'm not so much looking for like thought pattern. Mm-hmm. Is there a mental image when I ask the question?
Yeah. Something. I think. I'm going to be nice to you just in this case.
You don't have to be. This is me being an annoying player.
Yeah, you do. She beat the role. You have to be nice. That's how it works.
No, it's not how it works. But
I'm joking.
I know. But part of the actual thing about Open Legend is the concept of failing forward. So in this particular case, I'm going to say that while you don't understand what it is what the thinking is going on, you will actually get a thought pattern, a multi, it's a composite image, if you will. Are you aware how ducks have really wide apertures of vision? And if you
not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna say penises. I'm sorry.
Screw penis. That pigs.
Tigers have barbs.
We're not derailing it like this.
Put that down. Hurt yourself. Essentially, most humans have got about a 75-degree field of view. Mm-hmm. This thing has got much more like a 120-degree arc.
Cool. I hate that. Yeah.
Inserting, because what it does is it gives you, from your perspective, this really warped fisheye crazy house lens image of every. And so what you're going to see, I think, is going to be the back door of the inn, someone, and I think you're going to be aware this isn't a real image. This is its understanding of a chain of events.
Okay.
So, and someone pouring a packet of powder, a blue-purple powder, into the river.
Okay.
And then you're going to see the eddies of the blue-purple powder swirling toward to the south, because that's the direction of the water flow.
Okay.
Which incidentally is the direction this creature is currently running.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. So from Alexandria's flavor, from Alexandria's perspective, you see she kind of goes to brace herself and is like, ew, there's like entropy goo, and doesn't do it, shouts it.
Goo. That's okay.
Music goo. And shouts the question, and then you see, like in one of those like superhero movies, her essence kind of like buffs out of her in a ghostly form of herself, and it shoots towards the Verblajon, and anyone who's closer to the Verblajon will be able to see.
Actually,
Chevalier, yeah, you'll definitely see this. You see she like ghost her way over and slam her hands onto the head of what she would assume is the head of the Verblajon, and then that kind of, and then Alexandra, you see like her eyes ghostly white. She can't see anything right now.
All right. So ghostly image has ghostly white eyes.
Yeah. And then obviously once it goes, it fades.
Yeah. All right. You have questions. Lucas at this point is charging through the inn, with his sword in hand, leaving little magic notes whiffling behind him, resulting in an awful lot of in the inn. Mala is going to do Mala things. Very good at.
Adrian's like, I didn't know this was a dinner theater.
Yeah. 6 there, which is well inside range for her. Well inside viewing range for her. This thing is an arrow in its life. Pretty sure that was her heart falling off. Yeah, I think she's going to use Searing Arrow and just put an end to this thing. All right, so let's talk about this thing's bad circumstances. It is slowed, stunned, silenced, and knocked down. I suspect this makes shooting it somewhat more easy.
I think it actually might make it harder.
Could you put the rules on that for me, please?
They get a +2 guard versus ranged attack and a -2 guard against melee attack.
All right. Okay, got it. So let's see here. She has got attack specialization 2, which gives her advantage 2. And then she's going to reduce that by 1 because of the knockdown and all that good, happy stuff. And let's see if she can just make this thing go away. That's an 11 and a 1 and a 9. So that's a 19. That's 20 that she rolls to hit. And then Critter Guard is a 21. Missed by 1. So yeah, she's going to, again, there's just going to be this vague sneering action as the creature is attempting to struggle to its feet, and the arrow will clearly hit it in the forehead that wasn't there anymore. And there's going to be, I think Chevalier will have just learned a few new words in Ebonelf.
I've not heard that word in that accent before.
No.
Not for like at least 45 years.
Yeah, well, possibly only maybe once, but only when you were playing cards with the 2 girls during the ball. And it was a particularly bad hand. And it resulted in the other one giggling an awful lot. So yeah, so that's Mala, who's, yeah, we'll use the phrase displeased. And then it's Critter's turn. Okay, so the first thing it has to do is actually stop being stunned.
Well, it doesn't have to. It can choose to.
I'd really rather it didn't, in fact.
Because it's stunned, it gets to own, for its non-boss creature action stuff, it only has one of either major action, move action, minor action. If it doesn't take the move action, it can't resist being stunned. But if it also tries to resist being stunned, it can't stand up.
It has 3 actions, 3 major actions it can take, essentially. So it's going to first off try and resist. So it has to resist being stunned to be able to get up. So it's going to do that as its first action. And that is not what I'm. Yeah, where's my Eldrin? There it is. No, okay, just double checking that it should. Okay, so it's immune to fear, but everything else is normal, and it doesn't get any bonuses. This isn't. Here's a question I need to double check. It's badly worded in the rules. Officially, a boss 2 gets advantage 2 to everything it does, but that doesn't qualify whether or not that applies to its saves either. So I'm just going to presume it doesn't.
I think it's only on attacks.
Yeah, no.
I think the boss advantage is only for attacks.
Yeah. All right. So it is unable to shrug stunned on the first round. Now, so it can't get up. So it's going to try again and roll a 17. Okay, so then it is now no longer stunned. So that's its second act. So that's going to be its second action taken care of. And then what does it need to do to recover knockdown? Just use, how's that work?
It's a move action and it takes up half their available movement.
All right. So
given that they're already slowed.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, given that the roll, so they go from 25. 25 brings that down to 12. And then because it's slowed, and then the chew up from knockdown is 6. It's going to be able to move essentially 1 square away by the time it scrabbles to its feet and drags itself along. And in other words, it's just going to stand up and spit again at Chevalier, who is its closest chaser.
Yeah.
It cannot so all it's going to do is stand up and splatter poison all over everything. It is multi-attack, so it gets 2 taps of this if it wants, and it's 2d10 for its entropy. It gets advantage 2, and then it loses its. Okay, so if it attacks twice, it's going to be at a -6. It is multi.
I think it's minus. I think we worked out it's at like advantage 1.
Yeah, it winds up at
attacks.
By the time it's done.
Memory.
Yeah, that is correct. I keep getting multi-attack versus AoE backwards. So yeah, it is going to. Yeah. Okay. So we'll see what happens. Because actually, hang on a sec. No, it doesn't have enough actions to do that. Okay, now it's just going to go for the poison splatter. So here we go. You got off easy. That's an 8 on the 20. That's a 9. And a 7. So 9 and 7 is 16, and 8 is 24.
That's enough.
Okay. So that is another level of fatigued and sickened, and that is sickened as well.
Nah, I'm already sickened.
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Yep. And what is your yeah, and that is an actual bane attack. It's not a damage attack.
Yeah.
So, yep. So you are, this thing is wrecking you. Just so we're clear here.
I'm not feeling great. And that it does that.
You are mechanically
dead. Does it hit me twice or does it roll twice?
That was the first attack.
Right. Okay.
Then I was just going to say what I'm trying to figure out if it wants to splatter Spider at the same time.
That looks nasty, mate.
Yeah, it does. What's this thing's intelligence? Plenty. We've already had that conversation. I think Spider has demonstrated a sufficient acumen with his bow that he's going to get a dose of this too. And Spider's luck holds out. That's an 8 on the dice, a 7, and a 5. So that's a 20.
Against what?
Toughness.
Yeah.
What is this? Luck holds out. I got 15 toughness.
Yeah, there's no.
All right. So you've just been hit with a level of fatigued and a level of sickened. Well, it's a level and sickened.
Yeah.
Sorry. So sickened means you're disadvantaged 1 for everything.
And all your defenses go down by 1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which makes you actually easier to hit every time this thing blasters you. Well,
The first level of fatigue does.
It's disadvantage 1 on all non-attack rolls.
Yeah.
Okay. So disadvantage 1 to literally everything at the moment.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, yeah, and it's technically an entropy based attack. So this is, this vile green yellow splatter that is literally curling, burning holes in your clothing, burning holes in you, but at the same token your eyes are going to start swimming, your head's going to start ringing, your feet are going to stand like you're standing on pins, the foot asleep feeling when you try and walk. It's every nerve ending in your body is starting to go, hello, could you stop doing that?
Yeah, I wasn't wrong. That's pretty nasty.
And that's its third action, which brings us, let's see, what time is it here? We are, hello, time thing, 9:06. Okay, cool. Everyone, okay, so is everyone good to go for the next round of combat, or do we want to take?
Yeah, let's go.
I feel like I might be able to. Sam, please remind me exactly what is the rundown of Chevalier's maladies.
Fatigue 3 sickened.
Thank you.
Double check that.
Yeah.
No, it is 3 because I killed one of them last time.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Yep. And you can't do anything about that anymore. So.
Oh yeah, you the thing.
Because you can only get fatigue restored once per day. And I already did that.
Yep.
And it's at 6 you die?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's mechanically halfway.
Don't do it. Don't get to 6. That's bad. That's bad. To be fair, you pass out at 5, so it's like.
Yes.
What's going to do? Keep spitting on you?
Keep using its very deadly attack on you?
Just spits on you and walks away. You're like, no.
You have to pay extra for that some places.
Not from this one. That's not.
This is free. At the end, they eat you.
Yes.
Nadine.
They what?
Sit back.
Not in the happy, fun way.
Yeah, I misread this pamphlet.
Oh, yeah. I just
This
came
is
here for a
not-
good
Oh, I
time.
see.
Expecting when I came to
Velblood
this.
run. Right.
All you can eat buffet.
Made a
That's what
terrible
they walked in.
mistake.
See, wouldn't it be better now if it were just afraid of me? Man.
So, Chevalier,
No.
I have a cunning plan here, yes? No. Okay, got it.
No, you have a stupid plan. I can see it in your face. Don't do it. Whatever it is, choose something else.
You are muted, as evidenced by the
Sorry,
lack of...
Zoom just decided to be weird, and I don't know why. So
Maker.
I don't know. I think it just it popped chat out. The Zoom chat for some reason. Oh, that's weird. I don't know if I have anything resembling a cunning plan, except just like try to make things stop spitting on me, which is just getting harder as we keep going.
Stop moving toward it. That would help.
Yeah, but then it spits on other people, and that would be terrible.
I don't care though. I don't care about that. Just like don't keep.
So I move towards it.
No.
I mean, I literally, I can't. I'm so slow right now. Running away is not. I cannot outpace this thing at any point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and hit it with my hammer.
All right. So do you have 10 feet? You will need 10 feet of movement. Do you have 10 feet?
I have 15 feet of movement that I can play with.
You're actually still technically faster than it is.
Yay. Except that it can move 3 times and I can only do it twice. And not if I want to actually hurt it without hurting myself, which I kind of don't want to do. That I won't hurt myself more to hurt it more. How's that? Does that alleviate your concerns?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good scaler at all.
Ugh, that's so much disadvantage. Oh no, that's a 12.
Yeah, it has a guard of 18.
Yeah, no.
Again, it's going to be that bizarre behavior where it sort of does the weird, awkward smear. Have you guys all played XCOM? The living computer program that bops in and out. It's the gold one there. I can't remember what they're called, but they seem to be staticky and wobbling around, and they just sort of teleport around the map. That's essentially the behavior, only it's like ink and shadow instead.
And Chevalier, like every other combat, like he's got that thing of like when you see like automobile production lines, there's all those like mechanical arms that just like move to exactly where they need to be, do a thing, move exactly to where they need to be. Yeah. That's how he fights. And now it's just slow and awkward and ungainly, and everything is like, he's just like, he keeps getting caught on stuff, and it's just like bits of the armor are still just like crumbling away. Mm-hmm. There's like bits fall off as he's trying to do this.
Yeah. All right. Okay then. So that brings us to Spider.
Mm-hmm. And I'm some 30 feet away.
Yes.
And it just spat on me.
Toasted crap, by the way.
Yeah, yuck. How much does it reduce my movement by, this fatigue?
It doesn't. Not until level 2.
The first one?
Level 2 slows you.
Yeah. I'm covered in crap, and I just look up and I say, second verse, same as the first, mate. And I chuck the crossbow down on the ground, start running towards it, and hold my hand out, and my cane sword flickers into my hand from my belt, and I'm just gonna jump and fucking superhero stab it in the face. Well, that's gonna be what I'm gonna try to do.
And that's when I Superman punched him with a sword.
Yeah, that's the idea.
You are standing beside Chevalier at this point in time, by the way.
Right next to Chevalier? Or can I be on like the other side of it so that we're like pincering it?
No, you do not have enough movement.
Okay, that's fine then. Just next to him's fine. Drop the lowest, 13 plus 7, 26 total.
Oof.
Is that with the disadvantage you got from second?
I will roll again if you want me to, because I did not roll with one disadvantage. I rolled with one advantage. So I should have rolled flat.
Just actually all disadvantage does is removes the lowest dice.
But
you shouldn't have had either.
I was rolling. Yeah, I was rolling with advantage. So.
Okay, I see. Yeah. So okay, well then. Oh, so I'll tell you. So take out the. Let's just literally call it an average. Take out the middle dice.
Okay. That is in then a significant downgrade to a 21.
A 21 is still a hit. Its guard is
still a hit. Yes, but I don't get to apply another bane, right?
No, you hit it by 3. So unless you've got superior bane, no, you need at least 5, usually 10.
No. Yeah, no, 21 is the total.
3 points of damage.
Still silent. Oh no, this one wouldn't silence it because it's not a.
It's still silenced. It is still silenced and slowed.
Right. Good. Those are good things for it to be. But it is lethal damage, I guess.
Yeah. So that is
the thing can't heal itself back up.
Yeah. So that's that's 3 points. It's 5 points of lethal technically, I think.
Yeah. If I dealt 5 damage, if I only dealt 3, then it's only 3.
Okay, so lethal 3.
But yeah, there would have been 5 from the previous attack as well. So
yeah.
All right.
So yeah. So okay. So yes. So this thing's actually taken nasty damage, as it were. So that has pretty much sealed your fate. It's just going to eat you next round.
Sorry,
Alexandre, what are you up to?
I'm up.
So you can see Chevalier and Spider now duking it out, basically toe to toe with this thing. There's pieces falling off of Chevalier. There's a piece of Spider's pant leg is disintegrating. Just etc. etc. It's looking pretty grim down there.
To be clear, it's pieces that Chevalier has definitely told you are okay if they fall off. They are designed to do that. The armor is semi-ablative. It's designed to break.
Sure it is.
You then repair it afterwards. Intellectually understands, emotionally no.
Is this the one that I have attempted?
Nuclear launch detected. Pardon. Sorry.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, option add. I like to.
You would like to provoke it. Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
The GM is asking a pointed question. Are you sure about that?
I mean, what do you want me to say? That I'm perfectly confident about it? No, I'm actually not sure, and I don't know whether it provoked, and it cannot.
I mean, it'd specifically be resistance to the fear bane, not. It's a different bane.
Yes.
It is
mechanically. Provoke is completely different. So yes, it should be provocable.
First time Alexandra is like, hey, maybe I should have jumped.
I do not think that means what you think that means.
Chevalier's previous adventuring experience tells him that occasionally you just have to leap out a window.
I like that. That's
sometimes the bard's correct.
Hey, yeah, I'm gonna provoke it.
I mean, he is definitely damaged as well. But
oh yeah,
don't worry about it. It's fine.
I'm up high. Can't...
You're hoping.
Oh.
Now, she doesn't know this, but if she did know this, she would murder Alexandria.
I mean,
what? Provoke it if it's not near me.
Cunning plan is to ask it to leap up into the window with the two of us. That's your cunning plan, says she.
I'm gonna jump out of the window.
The one that it's coming through.
The other one on the other side. Like, we just break the glass. You don't like the goop. So, okay. I'm going to provoke it. What am I going to do? What am I going to say? I'm sorry?
Nothing. Continue.
I'm going to... I'm going to... Alexandria is basically strange, it seems, but will happen. And try to make it just like as little like looks extra trying to make herself look more
that's what I thought.
Yeah, but like basically chibi version of Alexandria.
Food. Okay.
Just stay in the window going, what am I going to do with all of this life force? Oh no.
Sorry, there was a joke. It was in Dungeon Magazine, which was the half level version of monster summoning. Oh, Look at me with all this chest of platinum, and I have a broken sword and no armor now. Whatever shall I do? Monster summoning 1/2 level. You know what I mean? But
Seems like a waste to just give this entire meal.
Roll it. Just because I think this is funny as hell. To resolve is 16.
Chevalier just to Jasper, he's up with that look. He's like, "Is she glowing?"
No, it didn't work.
Didn't work.
Fine. Oh wait. It's too late. Is it too late to use my
Officially, you must declare your legend point before you make the roll. Yeah.
I meant to say.
So it's less alluring and more teenagers' first time wearing makeup.
Oh no. 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 She just looks extra good. Just not tasty.
I think it's more that this thing's instinct for survival is overruling its interest in running back through a mechanized monster, a guy with a glowing sword, and the stabby leapy thing.
It looks up.
I'd like to suggest that it backfires and it's actually she that is like.
The Velvedran just looks up and is just like, "Yeah, get it, girl." Anyway.
I've never been so glad that I didn't say, "Come up here and eat me," ever in my life. Ever in my life. Ever.
And on that note, we fade to black. Thank you. We're done for this week. Bye-bye.
When we return, we will be playing Good Society.
Not playing Good Society, not
It's
playing Good
all I could
Society.
think
Go,
of.
Gotcha.
The entire time I was like provoked, but what provoke? Come up here and eat me.
You, sir, are one of the worst people I've ever met in my life, and I simply abhor you.
I'm just saying we've already converted the characters from one system to another. I'm sure we could do it again. We can turn these characters into.
We're going to traverse all of the systems.
Yeah, we can just make this same group of people, but in Good Society, right?
I'm really not trying to, though. I'm not, I promise you.
I'm not suggesting it takes effort for you.
Oh, okay. As you will.
I would never in my life dare to flirt with somebody.
Meanwhile, back in no, that doesn't apply either. Never mind. She, something, please save us.
Oh, wait.
Yes.
How far away is the ground? Sorry.
The
Like 15
2 stories.
Oh, it's 2 stories?
Yeah.
Ground or the wet ground? The dry ground is all rocks and hard pack, and it's about a story and a bit down. The wet ground is about 2 stories down and looks awfully cold.
How
further away, isn't it?
How deep is it?
15 feet away. And it's water. It will, when you land, it will fill ground.
Well, yes, that's the problem. Everyone thinks
Clearly, you've never gone tombstoning. It's easy as.
Yeah,
you may get winded, and when you resurface, you sound like, but it's fine.
If you're alive, my goodness.
Yeah, the concrete property of water kicks in at around the 30-foot altitude layer. At about 20 feet, which is the distance you're jumping, it's just going to feel like your biggest concern is getting water permanently inserted in your sinus cavity.
I was considering jumping out of the window. I would like to end the window jumping. For now, it is an option for.
Yeah. So the way, so that it's quote ad hoc damage, 10-foot fall is a D4. What I usually do is ask players to roll their agility, and that indicates whether or not they're going to take lethal damage or whether or not they're just going to take quote regular damage. In other words, properly duck and roll. If you're doing 20 feet, it's a D6.
All dice in this are clear. They explode.
Yes.
Yeah, that could just immediately knock Alexandria out. Let's just stay here.
Did we mention the part where water is hard to breathe if you're unconscious?
Yes. Well, no, we didn't, but now we have.
Don't need more water-based trauma in the group. We're not collecting it.
Something
not.
Water trauma? What?
Trauma is not Pokemon.
Why didn't someone tell me? I got just one.
Kind of want that on a t-shirt now, but anyway.
You guys have clearly never played Blades in the Dark. Because trauma is Pokemon in that game.
Yes. No, yes.
Get the whole set. All right, save us, please.
Okay.
Sparkly Princess here has sparkled intensely at the Velbadron with no effect. You're not sure what that was supposed to have done. What is she up to?
I think she's currently like low-key trying to shrug off the mind dredge because someone else's brain. Now I don't know how well this is going to help. But she's going to she doesn't know that bits falling off of Chevalier are okay. So instead,
just surface bits.
It's just surface bits. She's gonna cast resistance on you because she's very scared that if you get hit again, your head will fall off.
This sounds like a reasonable fear given the circumstances.
Would you be afraid that would... Anyway, continue.
She's never met a metal man. So they're going off of head falls off. Normally stops someone. Yeah, okay, so she'll cast what did I say? Resistance. Yes. Because me doing restoration isn't going to do anything for you, right?
Not for fatigue, no.
Okay. All right, cool. You'll get over your sickness. You're fine. So in that case, I just roll my protection, right?
Yeah, for a boon, you just roll, and then you compare the number to the power level results of what you can is available to you, and whether or not you hit those.
Gotcha. I can only do level 3.
Cool. Then you need a 16.
16. No, it doesn't. 20. So I'm fine.
20 is definitely higher than 16, so you've rolled at least a 16, thus you have power level 3.
So your defense scores are now increased by 3.
So you would, when you invoke it, you also pick the thing you're defending against, which for this would probably be entropy.
Yeah, because spits. The spits are stressing me out. So yep. Cool.
Not to be confused.
So it increased it by 3.
So you'll see like she's like muttering. Well, Alexandria will see muttering underneath her breath, making some hand gestures, and then you'll see like a little aura of purple kind of just pops around Chevalier.
All right.
So you guys are worried about the spit, but I remember what Michelle said at the end of my last turn, and I'm much more worried about the swallow.
God damn it.
Lucas. Let's just take refuge in Lucas. In Lucas we trust.
No, we're not taking refuge in Lucas. No.
Nothing is happening in Lucas.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Stop. Shorty's already broken. Stop.
Stop, I'm already.
Lucas comes tearing around the corner, glowing sword in hand, crying out a battle charge. And huffing and puffing because he's been basically double moving for 3 rounds straight now. He'll be here next round, I'm sure of it. So that's his action. Well, he'd gotten to the point where the window was a non sequitur about halfway through the battle. He's now under the window. If he just been let to jump out of, he would have arrived at. Yes. Yeah. Mala is losing her sense of humor with this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She really dislikes being thwarted. And is going to try and put an end to this thing. So, Mala. Attack specialization, which gives her advantage 1. She... hang on a second, I'm just double checking something. Yeah, all right, she's going to do that instead. So, all right, and that gives her advantage 1, as I said. And hold your nose, incoming. All right, that's finally a decent roll from her. That's a 13. 6 explodes and a 2. And let's see what the exploding 6 gives us. Another exploding 6. So, all right, we're up to, so that's 25. Let's see what happens on the next one. 25, 27. And then 3 more is 30. That's a hit. All right. So she's just, this is an energy-based attack. So basically she's going to flip through her quiver of arrows, drop one into the bolt, pull it back, and it's going to immediately begin to glow these little crackles of electricity up the length and across the fletching. She's going to take aim, pull the trigger. This thing's going to go flashing through the darkness, basically halfway to the target, transform itself into an actual bolt of literal lightning, which is really hard on the eyes, by the way. And yeah, this thing's guard, I believe, is 18. So 30 minus, okay, so she does what, 12, almost 20 points of damage to it? No, she does 22 points of damage to it. Ouch. So 20.
Didn't you get a 30? Wouldn't that be 12?
Yes, sorry, I'm doing the math backwards. Thank you.
I mean, no, it's 22. What?
Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, it's 20. All right. So that hurt a lot. And then she is going to inflict the persistent damage bane on it. And her energy stat is 3, is 5. So she can...
D6.
Yeah, so she's going to inflict a D6 persistent on this thing. Okay, so DOT 1d6. All right, it doesn't like that much at all. So yeah, there's going to be, like I say, brilliant flash of lightning in the darkness. Little electrical arcs flicker all around this thing, and it shrieked. Well, it would have shrieked, except it's silenced. So it writhes in pain. It clearly is attempting to hiss. And then it's turn. What if it didn't? Okay, so first major action is it's going to attempt to turn one of its boons on.
I asked.
Yes.
So
I think I've been
much.
turned around.
It currently has slowed, silenced, lethal 3, and a 1d6 DOT. It is a mess.
Lethal 8, but it's fine.
No, you did not get to use lethal the last time. You did not have a friendly in range. So you got a 3-point
attack. Oh yeah, you're right.
You got the lethal 3 on it, not lethal 8. It has.
Persistent damage.
I'll just toss the whole thing in chat so you don't have to fuss so much. One sec.
Damage over time. It's got persistent damage on it.
Oh, persistent damage. Right.
Sorry. I was just long-time MMO player, so I just abbreviate persistent damage as DOT, damage over time.
Who the acronym?
Well, that's just it, isn't it? TLAs.
Yes.
3 letters.
My mum used to call them TLFAs.
With good reason. All right. So yeah, let me reorganize the dice pile here. So the first thing it's going to do is attempt to turn one of its banes on as its first action.
Boon or bane?
A boon. It is a boon is attempting to activate. And that is entropy based. So it's D20, it's 2D10, and then it gets advantage 2. And we'll just use these ones for that. Alrighty, let's see what we get. Not that. Oh, please hold. Would you believe I just dropped it again?
It means it died. I don't make the rule. I just.
I'm not sure that means what you think it means. All right, hang on a second. All right, so hang on, stop that.
What?
Right. Let's say 15, 25.
Cheating?
Yes, it activates its boon. So it has life drain active. It is going to just straight up wail on Spider.
Oh.
So that is.
I like the call bullshit because if I protected Spider, you would have just said Chevalier. And if I protected Chevalier, you
He's
would
not
have just
doing
said
the entropy one
Spider.
on me though. He wants to
No,
eat me.
this is a straight attack. It is Might versus Guard. It has attack specialization, so it's D20, D8, and then it has advantage 2, and then it gets 2 more for being a boss. It needs to heal up. It's in bad straits, so it's just going to take the closest available source of food that it can find. And that would be the thing that is not largely ignored all of its attacks so far.
Hasn't attacked me.
Yes, actually, it's
Hitting at me repeatedly.
No, its chum did actually attack you upstairs and got nowhere with you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that's a 15. 7, 8, exploding 8, and a 2. So I re-roll the 2, and that becomes another exploding 8. So we're at 20. Okay, that's 15, and 16 is 31. And then the 2 exploding 8s go again. I only explode one of the 8s. Is that correct?
I mean, explode all the ones you're using.
Is it a 2d8 attack or is it a 1d8 attack?
It's a 1d8 attack.
Then you
Then,
only keep
only-
the highest. You don't get to keep both.
Yeah, all right. So, yes, okay. So I've only
I
got
suppose
one.
you explode both, and then whichever one gets the best result is the one you use.
That.
All right. Okay, fair enough. So I've got all right, that's another exploded 8. So that's the winner for the other 2.
Okay.
And 4.
While this is, I'm going to interrupt at some point.
Sure.
I mean, I will also likely do the same.
I'd like to improvise a boon. I'd like to heal. So,
One moment. Please hold. The GM would like to scare you all first, and then you can all panic. Get it in the right. I scare you, then you panic. Okay, not the other way around. So that is
I'll panic whenever I want.
And another 20. So that is 35, I believe I rolled. Yes.
I'm alive, guys. It's fine.
Are you?
Yeah. So Mike.
Yeah, by like a few.
So what is your guard?
My guard is 18 minus 1 from being fatigued, so 17.
17. So 30
And
for
my
safety.
hit points are 24, so that's like a whole 41.
Yeah, you've taken 18. So you just took 18 points of damage in one wallop.
I would like to try and defend as an interrupt.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to do much because I've got a lot of disadvantage. I'm countering it with a bunch of advantage, but it's sort of neutralizing itself.
I mean, but don't you take the damage if it fails?
No. I talked to Mustache about this because that was what I thought it was, and I was like, yeah, Chevalier can just cop the hit for Alexandre, and it was like, no, it's not. Then I was like reading it again. I was like, oh, that's not at all how that works.
Okay,
You replace their guard if it's higher.
Yeah.
So they take less damage, but
it doesn't. At no point am I.
It's like trying to knock it out of the way, but it's still aiming at me.
Yeah.
It's not literally getting in the front.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. That's 12.
All right. So that now you've just declared an interrupt, which means your next major action is toast.
Yeah.
Alexandre, are you declaring an interrupt to throw a heal immediately? Because keep in mind, that's this thing's second move.
I'm not 100% if that's how improvised
you
works.
want to interrupt after I get hit, right?
Yeah. That 3. It gets 3 of them.
Used 2 of its actions. Now, it did how much damage to Chevalier? To Spider?
18.
You said you said the total was 36.
Yeah. 35.
5, which is 18 damage, yeah.
So it's going to heal 9 from the life drain. So that brings it back up. Okay.
Is any of that lethal damage?
No.
Okay, that is good news.
And then we'll talk about, so it's going to automatically inflict knockdown on you. It is going to inflict, because it has superior Bane focus, it's got Bane focus on knockdown, so it only needs to hit you by 5 to trigger that. And that's Might versus Guard. And then I think, can it do persistent damage?
It only gets 1. It doesn't matter how much you roll over.
Bane unless it has it.
So it's just going to inflict knockdown on you. Just literally plow you, and down you go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Don't do that, Sam.
Hey, all 3 of us reacted. I'm just saying.
I didn't.
Sam.
Jamie would have, but he's currently writing damage down.
There was nothing else.
Sure.
I was ready to just let it pass. As it is, I'm going to let the interrupt pass until.
All right. Then it is what would make some sense here? It actually gets another advantage. It gets another 2 points of advantage because he's now knocked down. So it's just going to hit him again to heal itself.
He just gets
+2. No.
The guard is reduced, not advantage.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misremembered. Okay, it's still okay. That's still more because its life drain depends on it healing. It heals 50% of the damage it does. That's it. It's a good deal for it. So it's going to hit him again. So let's go here. So it's a D20. 6 advantage. 3d8. And then +2, well, effectively, but not really. All right, let's see what we get. That's a 19.
Total.
Another exploding 8.
So I'm very, very dead.
No, you're just at 0.
How's that work?
That's another
0. That's how it works.
You don't go to negatives, you just fall unconscious.
Yes.
If you take any other damage, it will be count as a finishing blow, and you might have to start taking fortitude rolls to not die. But other than that, that's it.
But literally, it would have to it would literally have to give up attacks against a living target to try and finish you off. So at this point,
have to keep eating you.
Yeah, exactly.
Fortitude's not my strength. Just gonna put it out there.
21 and 16 is 37.
So my guard is 17, so it's 20. If you can heal me for 16.
Does it go into
No.
minus? Open legend?
No.
Oh.
No.
I'm
That's
not.
zero.
So if you're planning to like use the improvise to just do the heal boon, I'm not 100% that's how it works.
That
No.
is what it says, as long as I'm doing something non aggressive.
The catch is that he can't go into negatives.
Yes.
The only reason I need to know how much damage he hypothetically took is because it heals half.
Yeah.
But from your perspective, you hit the floor at 0. It doesn't matter how much further it goes than that. And then any heal that you would apply right now.
Oh, wakes me up.
And that's kind of the point for me, is to do it now, not to do it after, because you will have lost your entire turn. The improvise action.
Yeah, no, I see it.
It's a boon.
I
That
misread
is
a
smart.
part of it. I thought it was like, yeah.
Shawnee, it's a boon.
It's a boon.
All right. So it did how much to you total, technically? 20.
What did you roll?
No, sorry. How much health did you have?
8.
I think you still do the damage. It just doesn't reduce him to 0.
Yeah, okay. So you should have taken 20-ish, I think the number was.
Yeah, I think it was exactly 20.
Yeah.
Well, can it heal more life force than I have, though, is the question. I only have 8 life force.
Yeah, no, the rules is it heals half of the damage it does.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So it should have done 20 points of damage. It's going to heal 10. And by the way, I think at this point in time, Chevalier is going to be very aware that this thing is looking a lot more vigorous. The disturbing problem with this thing is because it's cloaking itself in an illusion, is it's really hard to measure how well you're doing against it. And so, but that's its third action.
Slightly more spring at its step suddenly.
Yeah, it's far more aggressive about its dodging actions and that sort of thing. Yeah. And there we go. So, now you're also aware of the fact that Lucas is charging in and Mala is pelting this thing, but yeah.
I don't.
Yep. Pop. Pop goes the spot. Wow.
So, Alexandri, I kind of want to be like, hey, I'm gonna just put this back. Also, just put this one back. But also, I kind of want to use that as a provoke and be like, hey, guess what? I've got more.
You're attaching a blood bag to a person being fed on by a vampire.
Yeah, that's basically what I just did.
I just have to put it in faster than you're taking it out.
If I just keep.
It's all better if I squeeze. So I think from Spider's perspective, I don't think Spider's ever been hit this hard in his life, has he?
No, no, definitely not. There's a reason Spider usually uses a crossbow, and it's to avoid situations like this. The thing is, you give a man a magical sword, and
suddenly he thinks he's Superman. Yeah. So I think these are blows that would have been shattering brick walls. And, Spider's going to drop to one knee. He's going to be reeling over from the impact of the blows. I think, Luke, you're going to be peripherally aware as your vision begins to fade of Lucas screaming your name in the background in absolute rage. And then you're going to hear this brilliant sound of an orchestra sweep around you. It's like the house lights have just come on in Reniki's final act. You swear you hear a crowd roaring your name, and you are full of life. This little thing cannot stop you, is the sensation you are left with. So you don't actually completely fall down. You are technically not knocked down because she used an interrupt. You're dropped to one knee, but it is a zero.
The knockdown was from the previous attack anyway, so
yeah.
I think Spider's like on the ground, like looking up at this thing at this moment.
Yeah.
It feels right.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Like
get up.
Thinks it's drained all my life, and then my eyes just flutter back open, and Spider says, "I hear it."
I like that. All right. Chevalier has moved, and that brings with his action.
I still have move and minor though.
Yes. So what are you up to?
Well, look, we can't have any of this healing yourself mid combat for the other side. We can do it. That's fine. It's fine when we do it. It's cool when we do it. But yeah, I have to kind of hurt myself to do this.
No. What? What if it doesn't work? Chevalier, please.
I mean, I've not rolled higher than a 12 so far, so
Well, that's exactly the problem.
Statistically, that means I'll roll better now.
It's
That is definitely not how this works.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
No. Oh,
Heads.
PhD, it's the only thing I've learned. Independent chance is a thing.
Oh yeah.
Unless we are under the effects of sub, super, or unnatural forces.
Is its resolve? I think it's resolved. I'm gonna double check. I rolled a 20. How does that compare to its resolve?
16.
Excellent.
So
it's doing this to, Chevalier tried to intervene, and just it's everything's just a struggle. Nothing is working the way it should. Everything is just seizing up, and so there's this pulling on these reserves. There's an awful, just grinding sound, I guess, and this sort of like one of like the drones sort of things that he'll have, but it's sort of it's actually, it just looks like it's made up of a lot of small ones, and then they also break apart, and then they start pelting this thing like paintballs, going splodging against him, and then they all start to crackle with energy, and it just drains its boon away. It doesn't have life drain anymore.
All right.
And it cannot cast it or have it cast on it for a minute.
For a minute. All right, this fight will be over in a minute. Very good. I will strike its boon from the list. Because
that's quite enough of that. I think.
You can't lip read in Alien, so unfortunately you're unable to. You can't hear it, and you can't read what it said. So yeah, it seems to be disagreeing with you.
I mean, I recognize the hand gestures.
Right. So it cannot use life drain. Fine. All right then, be like that. Spider, my man, what are you up to?
I'm gonna pull one of those classic things you should never do in a roleplay game and describe exactly what I'm gonna do before I roll the dice. And then we'll see how badly or well it turns out.
Not what I thought you were going to say, but all right.
And reminder to the group, incidentally, Luke, V, and Alexandri all have 1 legend point.
Right. That's one of the things I would like to do, is I would like to invoke my flaw of being vengeful
Because what I really ought to do is get the hell out of there.
Yes.
Not what's going to happen.
It says it in the book. Get out. Thinking.
I just it says right here, Spider, page 11, run like hell.
Oh, look, on page 78, dim-witted. What are you doing? Get out.
No, vengeful.
I'm not reading that.
Overt? They're similar. One of them just has more swearing.
Proud.
Yeah. And so, as Spider's eyes...
Isn't Spider both?
Yes, I am proud and vengeful. As his eyes flick open and he hears the song, and Chevalier is messing with whatever the magic energy leyline bullshit is going on, he says, well, you said that's enough of that, right?
Yeah, that's what he said.
And then I think Spider says, and have some more of this. And this is going to be the second time I've referenced the same pop culture moment in roleplay games this week. If you've seen Snatch, directed by Guy Ritchie, starring our good old friend Brad Pitt as our pikey bare knuckle boxer.
Friend of the show, Brad Pitt. Yeah.
Friend of the show, Brad Pitt. There's a moment where you think he gets knocked out in a boxing match. Don't worry, not huge spoilers. If you haven't seen Snatch by now, it's been out a long time. You should go see Snatch.
It's punched more than a few times. So
then he surprises everyone by like waking up and then like doing a huge uppercut from lying down to standing, all in one movement. And this is like a sword uppercut. That's what we're doing. We're doing the sword uppercut.
You're doing
so Superman punch. Now it's
sword uppercut. Yeah.
I really like it. Like, I'm going to use this Velpadran as a wall and walk up it. And then stab down.
That's funny. Now I
just
assume
saying she would be very impressed.
I assume being knocked out is not the same as sleeping and removing fatigue.
Correct.
Unless you're unconscious for 24 hours. I mean, but then you really got to get that checked. That's not good. You want to get like a brain scan.
Yeah. Likelihood is I will do.
Right. Then my advantage and disadvantage cancel out. Does the group have any legend points left? Because
the group has one.
The group spent a lot.
I feel like I've spent a lot of group legend points though, so I'm gonna. I'll get one.
The
for
rest
this
of us have our
vengeful
own
business anyway, so that's fine. I'll just roll it straight. And this is why we do it, gang. This is why we describe before we roll. So it's a 17 plus a 1 is 18, and an exploding 8, so 26.
Oh, very nice.
I thought you were going to say I rolled double ones. This is why we do it.
Plus another 7, so that's 33.
Nice. All right. 33 off that. Well, its guard is 18. That's definitely a hit. So it's 15 points of damage.
Yeah, and
cut all that life force it stole from you back.
And splatter it on the ground.
Alexandre's like,
and fuck this guy. We're just gonna straight incapacitate it.
All right. How does that work?
Does that work?
I think so.
Yes.
I think it's just immune to you doing it.
Oh, right.
Oh, sorry. If that's not the case, I can change.
Yeah, it's immune to the person who, once it recovers from incapacitate, it's immune to being incapacitated from the person who did it.
Me, yeah.
Incapacitate does what exactly? Just for, since you're the one doing it, let me hear it.
The target is immobile and unconscious. They have disadvantage 5 on all perception rolls and are incapable of moving. As a result of being completely incapable of movement, an incapacitated character can be the victim of a finishing blow.
Yes.
Because this is at power level 5, the effect can be broken by a moderate disruption, such as a firm shove, a kick, a glass of water, loud bang, etc. So if someone else hits it, it comes back up. But
here's the catch: you cannot coup de grace a boss.
Okay.
You finishing move a boss until it hits 0. So the problem is mechanically is you can incapacitate this, but the actual act of stabbing it again wakes it up again.
Yeah,
So-
but that I'm okay with that, because the point is until we next hit it, it doesn't.
Right.
Nothing. It.
Tie it up.
Yeah, or alternatively, I mean,
Well,
like being knocked down, we get like some extra.
Yes, you get you get several. You get a minute to go.
I mean, it gets to resist at the end of its turn.
Yeah, that's why I'm not saying like we should just try and take a minute here. It's just like that moment of slamming the sword under its chin. It like cuts across its face, but also like knocks it reeling, and
it tumbles to the ground in a heap. And its illusion completely fades, and so you're left with the image you saw last week of this absolutely horrific creature on the ground.
And Spider's eyes widen and go, "I regret nothing."
I mean, you have half your movement left. You could, walk away.
I know. Proud.
Proud and vengeful.
I'm aware.
I'm saying right there, I want my legend point.
I was just going to say, vengeful gets up and hits it in spite of running. Proud would be stands here and waits for it to get up and bummels him. It's entirely up to you if you want that second legend point or not.
I'll take them all. Come on, let's go.
Then, so you're staying here, hoping it doesn't get up tomorrow.
How much did you hit me for? 19? I'm fine.
Yeah. I don't think you understand how that works, but you right there. All right, so that is now Alexandria's turn. So yes, ugly monster splatting on ground is ugly and splatted.
I use.
You
I'd like to use a minor action and see if anyone is watching. I want to know if anyone.
I'm not gonna lie. I really thought you went. I'm gonna send it to
you don't have to say
pussy. I'm like, you what?
Yeah, I misheard that too, and was thinking, do I want to call censor now or just wait for the end? This is fascinating in terms.
I'd like to point out that I legitimately just said pussy.
No, I got that eventually. What I'm saying is all I heard was pussy.
I'd like to look around and see if anyone's watching this fray with the concern of someone that's like, oh no, I let them in and it's backfiring.
So I think from the angle you're at, it would be a 20 to do that because the windows of any of the people are literally below you and behind you from your angle of perception. So yeah, roll really high and we'll have a chat.
I mean, I never said I'd. I roll really high. $35.
Wow. All
Let's
right.
have a chat.
So
Sandri never perceived.
Yeah, we know.
So I think that she's sparkling.
I think what's going to happen is that sort of instinctively, there is actually one window in your line of sight. It's right by the staircase downstairs that would be leading up to where you are. And I think you're going to see a young ebon elf face looking out the window, and she's actually staring at you because of the sparkles for a moment, and then her attention is going to be drawn down to Jasper's leaping strike that drops this thing, and as its true form is uncovered, her reaction is not going to be of horror. And I think that is the point. Like, there's several other people at the window watching this battle taking place outside, the dashing do of these odd people from the sky side and all this, the mechanical man, the electric arrows in the dark, the ghostly apparitions and all of that stuff. So you've got people pinned against windows going, oh my gosh. And I think what's going to catch you is that moment where you two are actually going to have met eyes. And then she's drawn back to the battle. And where everyone else goes, oh my God, it's awful, her reaction is going to be, oh my God, I've been caught. And will flee from the window.
I'm following that.
I think you can guess with the 35, she's heading for the front door.
Heading front door.
Right. Here's the problem. The quickest way to the front door is out the window. I have bad news.
I mean,
the bad news is the window opens to rocky, hard pack, crunchy stuff in a melee. The window just a few steps down opens to splashy, cold stuff.
see, there's extra bad news. Because if either one of those makes a noise, Alexandria would not quietly let. So that's not an option.
There would not be. There would definitely be the falling magic girl shriek would definitely accompany any rapid entry into cold water.
Oh yeah, I mean also just the poo of a falling person.
Yeah.
See, there's 3 people in this melee, and then just in the background a little bit, you just see this.
Tell she.
Look, you're coughing. Seem to have a cough when I was about to do a thing, which is Alexandria turns to she.
Throws she out the window.
Gotcha. That's not what happened.
I hope you can fly.
Oh, you can do a lot of things. Time to fly. Alexandria turns to she. Where's that door? Running. How to get to her? Now, go. Now, go.
Okay. I was saying running. Tell she so that she can help you do the thing.
I was trying.
And instead you were like, go do the thing. Yeah.
She's getting away. She's the one that did it.
Who the fuck is getting away?
I'm trying to point her out to you.
I look at a window that has a whole bunch of people there.
Well, then it's not much point me telling you, is it?
Maybe if you tell me your plans, I can help you with jumping in the water.
I don't have a plan. I used my major action.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Come on. I'm running.
What?
I'm running the fastest possible way to get to the front door. I'm telling she what's happening, but I'm
okay. So let me get back.
Not wait the bell, but
let me get back to this discussion again. The quickest way to the front door is out the window.
The not fatal one.
The not fatal one. Okay, that would be all the way.
The window.
That is about. Well, okay. By definition, it would put you a full 3 turns of movement behind that escaping person all the time. It's a full turn of action, double move, which you can't do because you've already done a major action. So you would do 1 move of action to get into the upstairs area and to the top of the staircase. It would be a double move to get to the front door, and then you could double move, but you would perpetually be a double move and a half behind the fleeing person the whole time.
I'm wearing my
glasses. Now, question.
I'm wearing my glasses. Is there any magic on her?
Why, yes, there is.
Fantastic. 3 moves, doesn't matter. I've still got magic. I've got magic bloodhound. Chase.
Sure, but you'll not catch her is the point.
No, I cannot catch. Is she...
You can through a merry chase in the dark. Away from Chevalier. Maybe the window's a better plan.
Question.
You really want me to jump out of this window?
No, actually, I don't. But the point is, these are things that I know. You have consistently played Alexandria as having a major psych rock, if you will, about being far away from Chevalier and bolting off through the underveld, chasing a random elf. Just doesn't sound. I mean, if you want to do it, Zealot plays there. But if you do, I'll like straight up. If you do, I'll throw that legend point on top of your character because that is absolutely you playing your Zealot flaw. But I'm not so sure it's a great idea. Okay.
I don't think it. But I would like. I've now perceived.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So I know what she looks like. I know that she's magic.
Yes.
Do the glasses tell me anything more about said magic, or do they
Yes.
just say this?
It's illusory. It's alter self. You're thinking.
Ooh.
She's going towards the front door.
Okay, sure. So
Is that what
yeah,
you said?
so yeah, so yes, she is. She's bolting. She's clearly bolting for the front door. If she essentially, so because of where she's at, major minor, she'll be outside. Essentially, by the time for her interrupt, if you will, yeah. Sorry, I'm just watching the conspiracy crowd here chatting on the Zoom chat, and I'm trying not to laugh because it's really, really funny.
I get my interrupt back.
Yes, your interrupt.
She joins the.
Yeah. So effectively, what's going to happen is I'm just going at the end of this round, I will drop her into the initiative order. Fleeing Ebon Elf, serving girl. Which is what you see. Yeah.
Alexandria is moving. Wait, when you say front door, do you mean front door to the barn or the front door to?
I mean the front door to the inn proper, which to you is to the northwest, down a floor into the northwest.
And there weren't steps coming up from the floor we were on?
Yes, there are. So what happens
so
is
that's where I'm headed.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said you have to bolt in. So what you have is the tent room. If you remember, the second floor of the inn is the room and then the private rooms. To the south of that, there was the staircase leading down, which is how Lucas. So yes. So by the way, she's basically standing behind. She's 30 feet behind Lucas at this point.
Can I get to Can I get to the stairs and say, Lucas?
You can yell out the window. Like from your position, he is at the corner of the building to the north of you. So if you were to basically pop open, you're on the skywalk. You're about to head back into the main building. There are windows along the skywalk. Lucas is to the north, just at the corner of the building, facing towards you, but essentially slightly behind him and, to the west is the main door of the inn that he himself just came out of. Right. So if you pop that window open and yell at him, then he's actually much closer than you are to go chasing after her.
Okay. I'd like to do that and hope that it doesn't wake up the velvet.
Sure. Okay, so you're going to dart over. No, die rolls don't go where they don't belong. So yes, you shove the window open and scream at Lucas, who will look up at you. What are you screaming?
She knows something about Zavel. She's the one.
Who?
Can I describe her?
Probably.
Ebon Elf serving girl number 3.
The one running towards the door.
The one running out is the.
Oh, okay. So Lucas will, on his turn, turn around and run back towards the main door.
She's leaving. The only one trying to go the other way.
All right. She, highly expert Alexandria is steering Lucas towards an intercept of a target you cannot see. I'm sure that's what just happened there. What are you doing?
For the first 5 seconds of her action, she is simply just going to give Alexandria the most withering look. Now, question before I do
Perceive
anything.
the not caring.
I've had a feat that I've wanted to change because I'm like, that's the most useless feat I've ever done.
Sure.
But I didn't change it before. Can I change it now?
These things are best discussed with your GM out of character between sessions, but since we're here now anyway, go ahead and explain it.
I would like to, if possible, I wanted to change my, that's the wrong one, change my energy resistance to alternate form.
All right.
Alternate form is real involved.
Yeah,
Fair
essentially having to have
It's
two characters.
making you character. It's making a second character involved.
Gotcha.
Essentially, what you do is you build two characters: your main character, and then your what I'm not.
Oh, that is way more complicated than I thought.
It's how to build a werewolf.
You build a werewolf. You build
I thought I could turn into a crow. That's fine.
Oh, that's a.
You want the
that's
shapeshift
a
boon.
Boon. Not
Shapeshift.
shapeshift.
Oh, okay.
That's a
I
crow.
don't have that.
Yes.
I don't think I have
Oh.
that.
Alteration.
Then in that case, can I change it to flying?
All right. So same number of points.
It's one less. Flying is one less.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Fully fucking sick, bro. Okay.
And
right.
Because of the way that mechanically this works, I'm totally okay with the idea that effectively that the special effect is you temporarily while you're flying, you look like a crow, and as soon as you stop flying, you look like a ewe. I'm fine with that.
Sick. All right. Then in that case, Withering Look ended.
Wasted half your.
I guess she is going to double move back to the window that Chevalier yeeted from.
Well, there's a big bloody hole in the window you're standing in front of, and she's just literally gone across the hallway and opened a pair of windows. So you are on the second floor.
The window.
Yeah.
Fly out of it.
Oh, okay, cool. So then in that case, Alexandra, you're going to see she literally give you the Ebon Elf version of the middle finger.
Which is,
and then is
the
it
same as the regular one?
Is it still a middle finger?
My energy resistance was 4 and flying is 3.
All right.
Oh, if you took multiple tiers of it, yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. And she's going to just like pelt that kind of 5-10 foot distance, and it's gonna look like she's just gonna yeet out of it, and then you see like grayish, bluey, mist coalesce around her, and she's gonna crow out of there.
Okay. So yes, so she literally dives out the window you've just opened while yelling at Lucas, and halfway to the ground, and a crow appears out of the mist cloud, and rockets in the direction of Lucas.
And you hear a lot of crowing that you assume is, "Ha, fuck you! This isn't your sound music, is it? Ha ha ha, dickhead!"
So, if only.
Standing in very confused, I suspect, by an open window by herself.
Only I had cast Mind Drain. Alexandra can do that at first. At the first power level. You'd have understood that. But she didn't, so she closes the windows.
Rude. I'll just go through the massive hole you made.
I mean, she waits for me to, and then.
All right, so Lucas. Oh gosh! All right, Lucas is going to go charging back the way he came. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will get him here, and you can hear Lucas yelling things along the lines of "Stop in the name of the Confederacy! You're under arrest!" etc., etc. Alternately, why you can't have nice things.
I haven't got a Steve.
Neither do I. Or the other one.
All right. So, and that would put 3, and you don't care about water because you're flying over it. Let's use there. And that brings us to Mala. Mala is going to yell, "Where are you going?" Yes, I know. What? Someone's escaping.
Mala gets like an accurate description of what is going to happen versus what Alexandria was like, they're going.
So Mala is going to take aim with her crossbow and yell, "The actual villain's escaping to the north, you two. I'll handle this."
This being...
You're presuming the Velbadran because that's who she's about to shoot.
Like, she's closer to the thing. It was like, well, how did this? Like, okay, like, please do.
Yes. Yes, please do that. Let's see here. Her energy is 2d6. We did this before. Critter is Critter is incapacitated, laying on the ground. So no, she's not going to shoot it because that would wake it up. Of course,
not if she did enough damage to take it out.
Yeah, I think she's just, and honestly, for lack of it, she literally
does have a hired guard because knockdown for whatever.
Yeah, yeah, and she actually has a literal hatred of these. Her one of her flaws is an actual pathological hatred of these creatures. So yeah, she's just going to do it. Yes. A logical thing to do. Yeah, I think it's not possibly the best tactical thing for her to do, but I think it is what she's going to do. Is just thing. All right, so
I mean, we haven't done the best tactical thing yet. Why would we start
now? Why start now? Yeah.
Hey, Alexandria's tried, just rolled very poor.
I almost all but one of my rolls has been under 12. So
all right, so yeah. The start is up by 2 because it's prone. And she nat 1'd on the 20. And rolled, so she rolls a total of 8 and completely misses. And I think both Spider and Chevalier and she are going to learn 2 or 3 brand new Night Elven words, or sorry, Ebon Elf words. Pitching a fit does not begin to describe the invective that escapes that woman's mouth.
Again, there's like just the 3 of us, and in the background there's just this lady in a wheelchair just like shouting. You can't hear it, you just hear this mumbling. It's a lot of hand movement.
Oh dear. Yeah, that wasn't even close. That's not missed because of blurring or whatever. That is wrong postal code.
To be fair, while it's incapacitated, if you're going to miss, you might as well miss hard, because like you don't want to just like tap it and be like, oh, whoops. Okay, well, it's awake now.
1 point of damage. It gets up and eats each Chevalier. Yeah. All right. That is Mala's turn. The Velbadran attempts to resist incapacitation, which is a D10, or sorry, D20, higher than a 10, and it rolls an 11. It is no longer incapacitated.
That was fun while it lasted.
Actually, hang on. No, it automatically, it does not need to do that because it immediately takes a D6 damage and is from the DOT and is woken up. So it loses 4 health from the DOT, and then so it gets up is so yes, so
Probably should have stunned it then. I didn't realize that was the thing. Cool.
yeah, I just realized. I just looked at it, like literally I've got the DOT sitting beside the it's like, oh, wait a minute. All right, so then it's going to have to use half its movement to get up.
What was the persistent damage? Like, what is it?
Mala's energy arrow.
Yeah, this thing's literally got little sparks of electricity jolting at every.
Yeah,
every
that'll wake you up. I would have.
Auto taser.
Yeah, I didn't think about that at all.
Yeah, well, and I missed it too up until just now. I was looking, going, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it's supposed to take a D6 DOT. I had them written down the wrong order. So it can't run away. It literally cannot run away. It has 6 feet of movement total. Because it's slowed and has to use half its movement to get up. So by the time it's done that, yeah, it's just staying here to fight. It would really like to leave, but isn't getting a vote.
It's still like 3 actions though. It's
yeah. So well, no, it uses it's got 3 major actions it can use.
Yeah.
So it cannot use its life drain.
No, go away.
No. Yeah. I think it's had just about enough of you two, actually. Yeah. So it is going to basically gesture outwards with both of its clawed hands, and for lack of a better way of explaining it, its fingernails shoot out like little rockets at you, leaving little effervescent trails of just, oh my god, I hate you, hanging in the air.
Who's at that?
This is at both Chevalier and Spider.
Okay.
This
So
is new and I don't like it.
Multi-bane, multi-attack. So essentially the same idea as poison spit. This one's called festering malice, and so yeah, so it's a D20.
I mean, I do actually appreciate it not spitting on it anymore. It's a lot of fatigue.
Yeah, you may not appreciate this. So let's start.
Oh,
with
good.
Let's start with the attack on Chevalier. So that's a 19. And
if it's a multi,
1 second. Yeah, no, it's because it winds up with advantage 1 because of its multi-bane, multi-attack specialist tier 2.
Is
and
it
then
multi-attack or is it multi-target? 1 attack. Sorry,
Multi-attack.
So it's attacking.
It's going zap.
Attacks.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So it rolls a total of 19, and that's, hang on a second, 19, it's 25, 32.
Yeah.
Toughness, that's versus
None of us have.
Yeah. So it is going to inflict persistent damage with that on you.
Cool.
That is a power level. Yeah, it's power level 7.
Which is what, D8?
Yeah.
D12.
Yeah, it's D8 or D10. It's D8 or D10.
There is no 7. So power level 6 is 1d8.
So
power level
1d8.
8 is 1d10. So it'll be 1d8.
Yeah.
Yes, D8. And so yeah, you'll take a D8, and top of the however much of a bucket of damage that was, it's just hit you with.
Well, it's a bane attack. It doesn't do damage.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You're right. So, and then same answer with Spider.
Yeah, get me that persistent damage.
That's an 11, and an open-ended 10, and an 8.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah, plastered. So again, you've just been hit with a D8 per round. Damage over time, persistent damage. And again, it feels like you've basically been whacked in the face by the world's most pissed off venomous scorpion porcupine.
Mhm.
Scorpion, yes, scorpions. Absolutely notorious little things. You find them under your closet all the time. Yeah. Thank you very much, Lazuli. All right.
I mean, thank you.
And so that's its first major action. Its second major.
Oh no, it gets 3 of those. That's right. Don't worry about it. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, is I think it's going to
Their old favor of more spitting.
No, it's going to do
Oh, was anything entropy based?
It was, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
most of that's entropy based, yeah.
With the additional, plus
still...
this additional +3, I was still not over 30.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
I think it is going to take the opportunity. Yeah, it's got like 6 feet of movement. If it would double moves, if it takes its used up its movement at this point. If it uses its 2 major actions remaining, it gets 12 feet of movement, which is no distance at all. It basically, the only way it escapes is by dropping you 2. So I think it's just going to go, so 1 major action, it's going to try and drop Spider again. So that is going to be, it's Might versus Guard, standard attack specialization. So that's a D8, it gets, and then advantage 2 on that. Let's see how it goes. Desperately wants out of here. So that is a 12 on the 20. That's a 4, a 5. So it rolled a 21. How does that fare for Spider?
That's not too bad. It's 21 over 17, so I take 4 damage.
You're going to.
I would like to take a defend action against that.
All right. So you
help me stab this thing.
If I do damage when I beat its roll.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
And I can roll better dice when I defend than I can when I attack.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. What type of damage is this?
Damage. I think it's just damage.
13.
It's not. It's narratively appropriate damage.
Okay. Yeah, but basically, you're punching. You're shoving your shield in this face to stop the attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's forceful.
23.
Right. It has damage resistance tier 2 versus forceful, which gives it 6 higher defense. So its guard is 24 versus punches.
This is not that.
Yeah, he's not rolling against guard. He's rolling.
I'm not rolling against
his
guard or anything.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll find the thing.
Damaged.
Just
what it says is your defense scores are increased by 6 against the chosen damage. Yeah, okay. So it's not it's not really defending. I get what you mean. Yeah, fair enough. Yep.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm taking the defend action. So I roll 20, what did I say? 23. So
yeah, you're
gases.
Yeah, I get it.
But I also have the feat Battlefield Retribution, which is when I use a defend interrupt action, you also deal damage to the attacker equal to the amount by which your action roll exceeds the attacker's roll.
Gotcha. And now, so it had rolled 23, so I think it takes a point of damage.
I think 21.
21? Yeah. Okay, that's right.
It's just 2.
Takes 2. No, 2's 2. All right. That brings it. Yeah, it is now below half again for the second time this battle.
And it's 4 damage I don't take.
Yep. Cool. Which adds up. And then I think, yeah, you're really starting to piss it off. It's going to spit on you again. It just wants you to go away. So yeah,
it's like, yeah, I'm just so angry at you.
Oh no, I think it's going to spit specifically at you though. 2 attacks. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
way
sure. So it's more of a I'm really angry at you.
So let's see here. So I think okay, so it winds up with advantage 1. We've calculated this 27 times now.
I believe so.
Yeah, so that's an 11 on the base die, exploded 8. 2. So we're 13 plus 8 is 23. Another 2 is 25.
Yeah.
So that
does it.
Yeah. So that is another level of fatigued.
Yay. What does that even do?
Are we at 5?
No, we're at 4. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You know how I was saying that like bits and pieces of the armor are just falling off?
Yeah.
He except for his faceplate and the big thing on his back, there's basically no armor left.
Yeah.
So he looks
So
like he did
this
back
is
at
how
home.
this is how Alexandre, except for the goo, most new Jasper has never really seen. It's just the black sort of chassis.
Yeah. And keep in mind, this stuff is not polite. It's bubbling, it's frothing, hissing, it's venting noxious gases that want to make you choke. It's just, the droplets that are hitting the ground are corroding the rock. This stuff is absolutely vile. Okay. Oh, by the way, here's the other half of that.
He kind of looks like K2SO wearing a backpack.
Yeah.
And a kabuki mask. Like very tall, but also he's a lot thinner. He doesn't look quite in proportion as he does when he's armored.
Okay, so you may now be in trouble. So that is, this is going to be close. So I've got a 6 on the 20, a 5, and an exploding 8. So we're at 11 plus 8 is 19.
Right. Yep.
Be enough.
And a 4. So that is 23 for the second half of the multi-attack. So there's another level of fatigue.
Yeah, it's +3, but I've also already got a -1.
No.
Which is 23.
No.
Is it meets it beats it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poo.
He crumples. He passes out.
I believe, yes. Down you go.
He's at 5.
Hey, Alexandra, how you doing?
It's like, puppet with the strings cut. Just goes.
Yeah. I have good news. That's the third of its actions.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have bad news. It's 10 minutes to quit in time.
We
can finish.
But I'd like.
I have it's so my time. It's 10 minutes to 11. I've got all day. You folks are at 10 minutes to 2 in the morning, I believe.
Give me that one more attack.
I just want one. Yeah, that's the thing. I think I want one more round.
I'll leave it. If we do, I want to take.
That's up to everyone else.
I'm okay.
Go for it.
I think this is a hyper tense moment, and while it totally appeals to my dungeon master / storyteller sense to say, we'll see.
What, Sam? What?
Go.
Sam?
And what you done? What?
Matt, you, Sam.
I'm dead.
You miscounted?
You miscounted at 6?
No. In 3 rounds, I die. Because I've got battle trance and it adds a fatigue when it wears out. It wears
so
off
it's 6.
It will wear off in 3 rounds.
Didn't you already get the fatigue from battle trance?
I turned it. I re-engaged at the beginning of combat, so I could a reckless attack.
Ah.
So,
yeah, but it's not the end of the round, though.
No, it's in 3 rounds.
In 3 rounds, he will be dead.
I die in 3 rounds. I don't think there's a way around it.
We need a break so that I can read things.
I'm just gonna, yes, I'm actually going to say, if we want to finish, I will. The players have an option given the circumstance. You can take a week and think about this, or you can take a 5-minute break and think about this.
I believe I'm next in the action, and I certainly can't do anything to stop the fatigue, but I can stop the Velblood.
I'm just going to say, so what I have for the initiative order is Chevalier, who is now TKO, and then Spy would be the next round. And yeah, that's. And yes, so this, by the way, this is round number 6. We're just about to start round number 6 of combat, just for perspective. This is slugfest for you people.
Yeah, this has been a big one.
So I will leave it up to you. Do you guys want to take 10? Guys want to take 5-10 minutes, or you want to take 5 days?
I'm away. I can't help heal.
I don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's a matter of healing.
I don't even need 5 minutes to stab this guy, Mitchell. I
can't help him because I'm not there. Is what I'm saying.
I am happy to keep going. Is my vote, I guess, if we wish.
we may as well let Jamie stab, because either way, I've got to figure out what's going on, and that's another action.
Then
If we're
I
going
need
to
a
take a break.
Yeah, I need a 5-minute break. All right, and
Okay.
then Jamie can finish this thing off, and we can resolve the possibly dying player problem, or possibly dying character problem. Actually, we would rather the player not die.
Yes. No players dying, right?
No players dying. Thank you.
No? Okay.
So yeah, let's fade to black and be right back. My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
No, I don't do the magic. Alexandra does the magic, but she doesn't know what she's doing.
She inverts people?
She makes their insides their outsides. Sometimes.
So she is either very good or very bad.
She's also literally transported me to my worst nightmare.
That's pretty impressive.
It was an accident, and she didn't know how she did it, or if she did it, but she did.
What flavor exactly was my milkshake?
The shankings will continue until morale improves.
What milkshake?
Buy one.
Jasper brought me to, and they both said Lucas on them, so I don't know what you're talking about.
That's strange, because Jasper told me that he got me a milkshake.
Oh, he did?
It'd be strange to... Yes, he did.
It would be. That's really strange. I don't know why he would do that.
I mean, I haven't known you for that long, but I could take a solid guess.
So what is it that you can do properly?
I can do.
Yes.
Well, I mean...
This is a lot of time you're taking.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
No, I don't do the magic. Alexandra does the magic, but she doesn't know what she's doing.
She inverts people?
She makes their insides their outsides. Sometimes.
So she is either very good or very bad.
She's also literally transported me to my worst nightmare.
That's pretty impressive.
It was an accident, and she didn't know how she did it, or if she did it, but she did.
What flavor exactly was my milkshake?
shankings will continue until morale improves.
What milkshake?
Buy one.
Jasper brought me to, and they both said Lucas on them, so I don't know what you're talking about.
That's strange, because Jasper told me that he got me a milkshake.
Oh, he did?
It'd be strange to... Yes, he did.
It would be. That's really strange. I don't know why he would do that.
I mean, I haven't known you for that long, but I could take a solid guess.
So what is it that you can do properly?
I can do.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
This is a lot of time you're taking.
And we're back. Yeah. Insert much screaming here. So before we get going any further, this is, I just want to explain my philosophy on things at this point. Killing a character is the least interesting thing to do for that character, unless it narratively advances the story, is my take on it. And so Michelle, as the GM, is more than willing to accept proposals about creative uses of creation magic, etc., to prevent character death under these circumstances, regardless of what the rules say. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be trivial. There are legend points available for the group to spend. But I'm not just going to... to me, it's just meh to finger snap and character dies. Now, on the flipper to that is, I'll ask Sam directly the question is, would you rather Chevalier make his exit at this point in the story?
I think, given what we talked about when I last put my life in danger.
What, 4.5 minutes ago game time? Yeah.
No, the other one. At the beginning of the fight, and then I just continued to do that. And then forgot certain rules of certain feats that I've had since the beginning of this character.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, like to me, that's one of the
I'm
worst.
okay with this. I feel dumb. Like Sam feels like an idiot. But
Well,
narratively,
go ahead.
I think it's okay.
All right.
Given like I said, given the stuff, because we talked about this when I locked myself in the room with these two. To begin with,
yeah,
I think it can. That's like narratively. I think there's some stuff there that we can. That it's okay that this happens.
Shawnee's like, I beg to differ.
Oh no, there is
like don't get me right. Character-wise, sure, I think he'd rather not. I'm talking overview, looking down.
Yeah, you as a player are okay with that outcome if that is the outcome.
Yeah.
The next person I'm going to ask on this question of, honestly, because of the fact your stories are so heavily intertwined, is Chantel. It's a character-wrecking moment, then obviously it's an outcome we would rather avoid at this point in the story, because it's in this particular case, it's dramatic, but it's not meaningful.
That's kind of the thing. To me, like, if it were Chevalier thing and knowing, then that's one. But because it was more data error, essentially.
Yeah, and that's the way.
That's kind of what that's my sort of meta side of things. But also, I don't know if you recall a conversation, Michelle, that you and I had when I took my upgrade. In which I said that Entropy 5 gives her access to. and she wants to have an off switch.
Okay.
That would be the mechanism. Say, may I use this as an off switch along with my legend point? That would be what I would do mechanically to see whether or not it is possible.
He's already incapacitated.
He's unconscious.
Yeah.
But what I mean is
mechanically.
She's trying to shut him down. She's
It's
like, you need to
rather than
sleep.
hibernate, rather than the computers on hibernate, it's powers off.
Yeah, she's literally just trying to
So
stop.
that the battle trans systems.
Yeah, she's trying to shut everything down.
Yes.
So Chevalier, who doesn't sleep, and I also find that kind of narratively, if she makes him sleep.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, because technically, yes, the problem is this is one of these rules holes. By the way, I think we've just discovered. Technically, there's no way for you to recover fatigue because you don't sleep.
I mean, there is. Sleep. What's the thing? Sleep doesn't recover fatigue. It's not you sleep for 8 hours. It's you rest for 24 hours. It's specifically 24 hours, not a day. And it's rest, not sleep. So it's he would just have to not do anything strenuous for 24 hours. And then you lose that. That's
also have restoration costs.
And then you can use restoration.
I propose just being switched off for multiple 24 hours and then turn back on again.
It specifically says it has to be restful.
Yes. So I think
being switched off restful.
No.
No, it's just being not existent.
So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start out. So I think the conclusion we have collectively reached at the table is this isn't a good ending right now for the character. So I'm okay.
I don't think it's a bad ending because I don't think it's an ending. I think it's just he has to bow out at the moment.
Yeah, that's my
because and I was dancing around it, but that's kind of what we talked about. Like when I talked about the thing that there is basically, I mean, it's a fantasy setting. Death is not a permanent end.
Agreed.
Especially not for a machine man. We just don't know how to fix him right now.
Yes.
But if we find the person who does,
yes,
that's not very far out of the realm of.
No, and I totally agree with that. And yeah, I'm looking at what it is you sent me, and I have some great ideas. I have some ideas, but it's going to get complicated behind the scenes, and I'm okay with all of that. But the concern I have is that within the context of the role play, it's the same problem we had with Drew leaving the cast. Is it leaves the Spider and Lucas interaction is crucial to Spider remaining part of the group. There has to be a mechanism by which Lucas leaves that doesn't make Spider feel he has to go chasing after his brother, or if he does, it has to be in the direction that serves the story, right? My concern is that unless Chevalier's exit, if you will, exits in a direction that propels Alexandre forward in the story, we don't kill two characters narratively. We don't kill one character narratively. We kill two. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I get it, but I think it does. I
Yeah,
don't
my
think
guess is that
I don't think
because
this
my
derails
first-
Alexandre.
My first guess as another player is the way we fix Chevalier is get to the song faster.
Well, yeah. I mean, so I guess my question is, and that's why I was asking from Chantal's perspective, is this if the dice are unfortunately loud today, is this a bad outcome for your character?
I mean, character, yeah.
Can you roll with it?
It's kind of what you said. It's the fact that she never goes anywhere away from.
Mm-hmm.
Will it ruin your character, or will it be an interesting character arc?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, probably. I have no idea. I actually don't know how Alexandre respond.
Right.
I
mean, obviously I'm a guest here, but I like letting it happen.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea.
I definitely just in that terms because the idea of I get the idea of death is usually not a hugely interesting thing to have happen, but once it does, I feel like trying to twist ourselves into knots to retcon it feels like that risk still needs to be there.
Oh, I didn't say there wouldn't be consequences to this outcome.
Sure, I get that, but it's still sort of like, I don't.
All right, then we will allow the dice to speak as they speak, and we will allow the rules to say what they say, and we will continue forward. So at that point, I am going to require to recap the moment. Spider has just basically done the rising slash that has rocked this creature's world. It has vengefully struck back to fell him, only to have Chevalier interpose himself, and being furious at being thwarted of its prey, has lashed out devastatingly at Chevalier, and Chevalier drops to the ground beside Spider like a marionette with its strings cut. Not an eek of its armor, his, whatever's armor remaining. Little sparks and hisses, bubbling froth of poisonous spray all about the ground. What's going on in Spider's mind right now?
Furious screaming.
Got it. Let's see a die roll then. Let's see a die roll. Like some furious screaming. I will remind Spider that he earned a couple of legend points last time.
Yeah. They are immediately getting burned.
I thought they might.
Immediately.
You're gonna okay. So you're using both of them.
Oh yeah. Okay. We're getting that advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you worry about that one.
Don't forget that's not only advantage 2, but it's +2.
Oh yeah, I had forgotten that. Thank you. Okay. So then I need this many d8s. Good, because that's 2 open d8s at the top. And an 11 on the dice. So I'm going to keep that one. So 11 plus 16 is 27. We reroll these 2. That's another 8 and a 5.
Nice. What are you up to?
So the 5 makes it 32. The 8 makes it 40.
Wow.
And one more, 41.
41. That with the +2?
Then the +2, 43.
43. That is a ton of oof, I must say. That is a ton of oof. 1 second here.
Gone.
I believe so. I just need to do the math.
And its guard is to... Oh, no, it's not on the ground right now.
No. So I think that is, by my math, the new high roll for the campaign, by the way.
I don't think so.
No, because when I exploded a 20...
Oh, that's,
I got higher than that.
Yeah, you're right.
I think, but Drew
might have as well.
Drew exploded a 20 twice. So
yeah, he got a 50 something.
He's got like, he's had minimum 60. He got like
60
20 twice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, was that one of his theses? I think it was one of his theses.
I think it was playing you in like racquetball or something.
That'd be right. The racquetball game. God.
Completely raffle stomped you. So that's a 43. Its guard is an 18, which by my inexpert math, compensated for by a calculator, is 25 points of damage.
Got him.
Yes, because it has 20.
Nice.
This thing goes bouncing down a short distance and plunks into the river, and it's in the corpse and cranium begin to bubble and hiss and slowly dissolve.
Yeah, I think Spider definitely this is the classic beheading.
Yes. I have had more than enough of your shit, he says. Only slightly less coherently, I suspect.
It's just screaming.
Yeah. Mechanically, the next thing that happens is Alexandre is now in the heartbeat immediately after this thing's beheading, and still probably gazing in horror at the pile of parts that is her, her guardian, protector, and friend. So, could I ask perhaps what Alexandria's thinking?
Alexandria's not thinking.
That's what I thought she might be thinking. So,
Alexandria's jumping out of the window, and if she survives that fall, then we'll get to what happens next.
You die, so help me.
If you die, I can't help you. That's basically what it is.
So, I guess the first thing I need is that agility roll.
You're doing agility.
Yeah, a second here. I want to be absolutely clear about this. It's
just a D6. It's not like a D20, right?
What?
Good damage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, it's so the first thing you need to do is, this is, are you aiming for the stream or are you aiming for the ground? You take less damage on the ground, but if you
I'm
aim
aiming for as close as I can get to Chevalier without falling on him.
All right, fair enough. You have to, you are looking for a heroic outcome. That is a 20 you are attempting to roll.
Remind me, is there like an assist roll in this?
No.
In game at all?
Actually, well, technically, yes. So what you have to do is effectively, because you've just acted, you don't have a major action.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Well, it's the improvise action that Alexandria did before. Like one of the examples is literally trying to catch someone as they fall.
Yeah.
So it's basically
not be my next major action.
It would mean, I mean, we're not in combat, but it would cost you your major action next turn.
Yeah. So hypothetically, if you hear shriek, smash of glass, you could just say that Spider instinctively looks up and darts to catch her. Yes.
That's what I was thinking. It's like, it's that moment you behead the monster, then you hear a crash of glass above you. It's like swinging around because it sounds like another enemy, but instead it's falling noble girl. And so there's the dive out to catch her.
The improvise interrupt is essentially you doing a non-offensive reaction that assists an ally.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
And what I'm going to ask you to do is also roll your assistance.
Okay. Use your interrupt to invoke your non-offensive reactions meant to assist allies. Cool. So is this just an agility?
What I'm going to do is say whichever one of you rolls higher on the athletics is the die roll that counts.
Okay.
If you both beat it, she doesn't take any damage at all. $16, all right.
It's funny that I also rolled a 16.
Can I?
You're a bird.
I can change out of a bird.
You're a bird,
and I can probably fly quicker to you.
Literally on the wrong side of the building. So, okay, that is going to be 3 points, and it will count as lethal damage. So you are going
both take it. As I got in the way.
I'm just going to say you just don't get there in time. She just slips through your fingers. You're so busy trying to not harpoon her with the sword that in the heartbeat it takes you to get the sword out of your hand and reach to grab her. She's already.
The classic thing is he drops the sword, dives out to catch her, but because he put his hand out and it's a magic sword that flies into your hand, it flies back to his hand and he goes, "I can't get her," and rolls away to not skewer her.
Absolutely adore that. So the two of you are lying in a heap beside each other, attempting not to murder each other. I like it. We'll go with that. All right. So yes.
That's my movement, right?
Yes, that is your
movement.
movement.
Chevalier with that movement.
Yes, because you have only used half of your movement by going vertical.
Wonderful. Vertical is the fastest way, as you. Get to Chevalier. Barrier.
All right. And what is the barrier going to do?
I'll level it.
All right. You have a legend point. Alexandria has a legend point.
Alexandria's using. but it will be a creation.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to lock you in a life support box.
21 for
All right.
5 properties. First one, ring.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what does that do mechanically?
So mechanically, creating a wall around her and Chevalier by extension.
Yep.
Where if someone ends their turn in the barrier or willingly enters the barrier, they automatically and they move at half speed, traveling with it.
All right. So you have basically just encased yourself in a PFO bubble. Got it. All right.
The barrier, like those little drones that Chevalier has.
I like that. Okay. Yep. All right. Now we're not in, I just want to make sure everyone gets a chance here. So we're going to talk about she here. Mala is, I'm going to ask for feedback when I get to Mala as to what she's going to do, because her options are kind of limited about how she can help here. So I'm going to want the players to give me some ideas. You as a crow are going to go zooming upwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then just 1 second, I need to throw a token on the board so I know what I'm doing. I'm just keeping track of a couple things relatively for myself. And that would be there. There we go. And they would be there. You can see Lucas ahead of you by about 30 feet, and 30 to 40 feet beyond him is a young ebon elf serving girl darting along the path leading to the main road. Glancing over her shoulder, Lucas is shouting at her to stop in the name of the law, etc., etc. So what is she going to do? South of you, by the way, is very, I mean, it's literally a glance behind you to be able to see what's going on behind you. You can clearly see the drama unfolding down by the river. Chevalier is down. Jasper is lying in a heap with a magic sword in his hand. There's glass raining through the air. Alexandre has cast some sort of force field around herself and Chevalier. What's she doing?
Now, I'm just going to quickly look at one of my floors.
Sure.
Where is it? What the fuck? Yeah, that's fine. I think she's been told to stop that person, so she's going to continue.
All right.
I think Marla would have taught her at some point to focus in battle and not get emotionally involved. So whatever that is, it's not on her mind. In that case, she is going to try and immobilize the running lady. How far is that? Is that too far? If I use my movement and then I do it.
70 feet, you would have to move. Yeah, you'd have to use your movement to get into range to have a hope.
Cool. I'll use my movement and then I'll immobilize her, which is, which one's gonna not screw me? please. It's a 21
21.
against guard. Guard? Toughness.
21 versus toughness. Okay, you might get away with that. So here's the problem. The bad thing that you are chasing has the ability, can substitute its resolve and toughness as, and it has a, yes, and it has a resolve of 22. So that means it has a toughness of 20 circumstances. So it's going to stumble over the,
Oh!
Hmm?
Sorry, I just realized I have multi-bane specialist, but I don't actually know what it means.
What it means is that Bane Specialist allows you to apply 2 Banes with a single attack.
Oh, cool. Oh, but Nullify doesn't do cackle, so.
Yeah.
I think you need to specify which 2 when you
unless
take
it's
the
a
feat.
boon.
No, it has to. Bane is Bane. Multi-Bane is multi-Bane. Multi-Boon is multi-Boon. So the catch.
No, as in the ability to switch the toughness and the resolve. Is that a boon?
No, that's a perk.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yep, that's fine. Don't make it.
Yep, that's cool. So yes, there's going to be this shriek of magical energy. And yeah, there will be a stumble, a flicker. You're going to see the pebble in the pond effect as the fleeing girls stumbles and her image wobbles as though temporarily distorted in a viewing pond, and then she goes back to being a fleeing little girl, or yeah, probably or mid-teens, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So that is the extent of you. Let me just check something here. And that means Lucas is going to run his legs off trying to catch her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He will double move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that puts him right behind her. So he's literally right behind her. And just out of range to do anything. Okay. And that brings us back. The critter is demised. What is Mala going to do? Where is Mala? She does not have line of sight on the fleeing person. She's on the wrong side of the river, but that's literally, the snap of a fingers to get over to where you guys are. Would you rather that she tries to join the pursuit with that crossbow of hers to bring down the fleeing person, or lend assistance somehow to the job of saving V, or what else would you like her to do right now?
I feel like Alexandra made it quite clear that this is a job that she didn't want the other people to get involved.
That was the impression I solidly got, but just in case, for example, Spider had a cunning idea about how to get involved here that didn't involve being electrocuted and glued to the floor. All right. I think, because otherwise, I think by virtue of that force field existing, I think Mala's default behavior is simply going to be to use her high mobility to engage in the chase. Okay. So let me just double check something. I believe for her teleport, literally, if she can see it, she can go there. So what's the roll she needs to make? It's her movement. We're out of combat. I'm not too worried about that. I think she can just pop. Her movement is 4, which means I think she can teleport to anywhere within 50 feet. Let me just double check that real fast. Let's go.
People go though, right?
Well, technically, okay. So there's a wall with a gate. If you're not worried about the world beyond the gate, technically they can run back the direction that the girl is heading would suggest she's heading for the gate that you guys came in.
I know, but she'd have to stop long enough to open it.
Well, I mean, technically, there's stairs that go up one side. I mean, she could run up. She could run up onto the walkway across the top of the gate and jump off. But it's a 10-foot drop. She'd take damage doing it. Yeah, I'm like, it's questionable as to where it is she's going. I will agree with you. The fact that she's doing it suggests she perhaps has a plan. An evil person with a plan. Who would have thunk it? Teleport. Where is it? Invisible life drain light. Where are we at? Resistance. Shapeshift. Apologies for the lookup. Teleport. Teleport ranges, you can now teleport to spaces you cannot see. And she can hit 5 feet per point of movement. And her movement is 4. So she can actually jump in 20-foot bursts. So that will get her back across the river. So it's just as efficient for her to actually start using her just regular movement to get her further up the river before she bothers to teleport, which is what I wanted to see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 gets her there. So she's double moving to join in the pursuit. She can teleport across the river next round. And that is last moments of Chevalier's life number 1 concluded. Spider, what are you doing?
Probably throwing up.
That's reasonable.
I was fatigued and sickened. Is sickened a thing you resist?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Spider's. Everyone's doing things, and Spider's just like on the ground and like, bleh.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I rolled a 20.
Yep,
Cool.
that's definitely, that is, so yes, you feel much better after vomiting your guts out. That works.
I have no idea where everyone's run off to because it's dark, but I see Alexandri
Yes.
doing magic, and so I pick up my crossbow
Mm-hmm.
and I stand watch over her.
Okay. All right. And that brings us to Alexandri. What is your next thing to do?
I don't.
Not from them. He pushed himself pretty hard.
Yeah.
But it was mostly in the end, it was the entropic goop. It was just like.
Sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chevalier hasn't actually taken any damage, has he?
He's taken a bunch of damage. He's at like 11 hit points.
Okay,
it's all self-inflicted.
Right. Okay. So yeah, so you're going to have taken. All right. So, Yeah. All right. So, for lack of a better way of putting it, I think she's aware that the healing energy has gone somewhere. You've had that sensation when you were doing your healing with Lucas, where, for lack of, you could sort of tell when he had where you had healed him to the point after the wounds he'd taken that there was simply nothing left to fix. Because there's always this sensation of music left over, looking for somewhere to go, if you will. And that's not the sensation you're getting here. But at the same token, you're not seeing any evidence of it changing anything with Chevalier.
That was Alexandre. That was jump window. I think. And
They crumble in your hands.
no, don't say.
It's like
Said that.
it's like if like a like if you could if you like a ceramic turning to a powder.
Then tries and sustaining the barrier.
Okay. All right. She.
Okay. She's gonna move up again.
Mm-hmm.
And
Here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You're about 15, 20 feet away from Lucas, and Lucas is 5, 6 feet behind the Queen girl. Those converted meters let me know. Yeah. And you're vaguely aware of Renamala behind you yelling at Lucas, "Get out of the way! Give me a shot!"
oh, poo. I don't know what I can do other than immobile. I'll just go again. I'm just gonna go again.
Okay. Immobilize. Let me just check, because there's a couple of these that if they fail, that's it. They're done for 24 hours. Let me just double check that.
Lies is one.
It's not, but when you resist it, you can still use half your move. Well, you can still move 15 feet.
Yeah.
As a free action.
Just checking.
Cool. So I can do it again?
Yep.
Okay. I am rolling a D.
Now,
Yep.
what stat are you using for this?
It is creation. I'm using.
Okay. So you're literally trying to do.
It can be creation or entropy. Both of mine. No, they're not.
Well, I'm asking it.
It's creation.
Okay. So essentially, you're literally pulling roots out of the ground and grabbing at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly what I'm doing. No. 17.
All right.
It's close to exploding.
And
you hear Ebb and Elf swear words in crow form.
Yep. Just give me a moment. I need to double check somebody. Their agility is awful. It's not great. It's not awful, but it's not great. 1 sec. Because this now makes a difference. That's a good roll for her. Good. She goes exactly before Lucas. That's very important. And then she needs to make Hang on, I'm trying to remember how this works. It's right. So it's 2d10 movement, gets advantage 1, and let's see what we get. Okay, that's an okay. So that's a 19 there. Oh, wow, the dice are not being kind. 19 and 6 is 25, 29. Okay. Yeah, he's got nothing that'll stop that. Yeah. Okay, so sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how to narrate this because of where everyone is. I'm actually going to ask everybody but she to take your headphones off. She is the only one who sees what happens. I will text when it's clear. All right?
Okay.
Yes. So I have bad news. So the young girl stops in her tracks. She does not flee. She turns around, and the pebble on water effect continues. Remember I mentioned that's what it looked like when you last. So this time you get the exact same effect. She doesn't stumble this time as so much as she whirls in place. And it's almost like the whirling action causes the ripple in the pond, only this time the water splashes away. And it's not a young girl. It's a very tall, silver and gold-haired high elven man, who is going to reach out, grab Lucas, and grin at you and say, "I'll see you at the forge." And for lack of a better way of explaining what happens, a thundercloud appears above them. This swirling tempest materializes, and they both literally get tornadoed into this cloud, with Lucas yelling, "I've got him!" And the cloud evaporates.
Oh, I'm in so much trouble. And I couldn't do anything to defend and interrupt that, right?
I will, if you want, your target number would be a 25 to do something that would stop that. Essentially, he's using a villain level movement power, a boss villain movement power.
Okay.
Your target number to disrupt that is a 25. If you want to use
not?
it or
Why
something.
not?
Yeah.
I guess I couldn't really use nullify on that, could I?
Technically, you
Because
can.
it's movement. Oh, let's do it.
So I mean, I think the only you could I think let's see, nullify. Let's see what we've got. I mean, this is an extraordinary moment. I'm willing to sort of be a little light fingered on the rules here, but let me double check nullify. Where is it?
You're able to nullify your enemy's boons. Nullify Bane is often used. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, this is teleport. It is a boon.
Okay, cool.
It is essentially a villain level adaptation teleport.
So I can do it up to level 4. Is it above level 4? Yeah, I'm screwed then. I can't do anything.
Right. So I think mechanically you wouldn't know that. I think you would try. And you're just going to feel the raw rebuff of the power being invoked by that storm as the tornado carries them away. All right.
I'll go for it, and I'll basically crow form, try and like fly into it, interrupt that, and then just
it's just a higher CR according to you can do above level 4. So all right, 1 sec, I need to double check.
Well, I already rolled, and I rolled a 5 on my 20, so I think I'm fine.
I mean, you can open in the 20. You can open in your other dice. What does it come out to be? Try it.
Okay, am I rolling again? Is that what I'm doing?
keep the 20 and roll your roll. What were you using to try and stop it?
I was using nullify.
Nullify. Okay, so what is the associated stat with nullify that you're using?
It was
Creation.
Protection. So I got a D10.
So I mean, if you open in the 10, you're good.
Okay. No. I
All
did
right.
not.
Yeah, this is all right. Fair enough. Yeah, this is essentially a modified power level 9. There is going to be a shearing ball of energy that is, like I say, and you're going to. I think in your crow form, you're going to be buffeted by the blast of wind that ricochets as your own power sort of turns back on you. And yes, you're going to see Lucas. You're not sure who's actually at this point grabbed onto who, but Lucas, I think the last words you will hear from Lucas is, "I've got him!" before they finish into the cloud.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'd say she gets buffeted back by this and like just ricochets off of this thunderclap, and twirling in her crow form, she like gets just like smacked out of this form and flies, I would say, straight into Marla.
I'm okay with that. So cool. Yeah, just basically literally tossed laterally across the river.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right.
Is it good to bring them back?
So, Spider, I would like you to do a perception roll. I want you to see if you hear something. You are muted, I think, or you're clipped. I can't tell which.
21.
21. Yes, you are. You are going to hear your brother's voice echoing off the cavern walls, yelling, "I've got him!" And then the rolling boom of thunder within the cavern.
Thunder.
Everybody hears thunder.
In the cavern.
Everybody hears the thunder. Well, except Chevalier. He's doing something else. But yeah, everyone else. And then the next thing, I think, because you're going to whirl around in the direction of the sound, you're going to see Renishi in human form getting launched laterally to practically land in her sister's lap in her wheelchair, resulting in an awful lot of sisterly, "Get the hell off of me!"
Thunder in a cavern.
Yes.
I look back over my shoulder at Alexandre and what she's doing, and she's just in a force field.
Yep.
I run towards the sound where Lucas's voice came from.
Okay, so you're going to
sound good.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And it kind of sounded loud and victorious.
That bit sounded good, and was like, "Oh yeah, good." And then he said thunder on the ground. Heaven.
So you are unable to get to the corner of the building as you pelt pell-mell up the side of away from where the battle with the Velbeduran was. You're just steps away from the corner.
Whatever. I mean, I'm running that direction. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, no, but yeah. Renishi, I will ask you to make a perception check, please.
Okay.
As you wind up lapward in Renamala's lap.
Did you fucking smell? Get off me.
There's
16.
16. All right, that is exactly enough that you are going to have you will see a glimpse for a brief moment of well, it's weird. It's a volcano, only it's got blue behind it, like it's topside, not ground, like underground. Yeah, it's just a really weird place to have a volcano. And there seems to be this anvil-shaped cloud billowing away from the top of the volcano, which is again really weird. Volcanoes don't look like that, right? They're just usually big, flat, open spaces with bubbling lava and shit. That's what volcanoes look like to ebon elves. They're large lakes that plume fire and smoke, and it usually drifts upwards through vents, and that's that. But this kind of looked the same way, only it was like someone had taken like that image and sort of sawed the top off of what you think the Skysiders call a mountain, and then sort of put that there and, you know, decorated it with fluffy, well, lightning-filled, doomy kind of anvil-shaped cloud. Yeah.
This is in my mind's eye, or like
In your mind's eye, absolutely. Just as just the heartbeat before you connect with your sister.
okay. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, get the fuck off me.
You're on me. I'm the one. Anyway, Alexandria, what are you up to? Something, roll of thunder, running spider.
Alexandria's not paying attention.
I didn't think she was.
I would like to.
I will let you know, by the way, this is 2 of 3.
And despite the fact that I'm asking, it's a wild technically. Because the questions.
No.
Okay. You may disentangle yourself from your sister's lap and crossbow and cloak and overturned chair. Yeah.
Give me a pen and paper. Charcoal and paper.
What?
Give me something to write, to draw.
Just because so you literally have landed on her, knocked her chair over, so you're on one of her wheels looking down at her, and she's going to be looking up at you, and you're going to be flailing about charcoal and paper, and she's going to, like, going to whack a button on the arm of her chair, which basically punches a kickstand out, and which, you know, straightens the chair up, but because you're on top of it, lobs you into the river.
I hate you. I hate you.
And then she's going to calmly open the saddlebag that you were laying on and pull out a...
It's too late. She's turned around, she's grabbed a rock, and she's drawing in the ground what she saw.
Okay.
Carry, like, a book and pen of her own?
She's
Does she
not
lose?
smart right now. She's still in crow brain. She literally got buffeted out of crow brain. So
I think that is going to be a campaign phrase right there.
I must get this down. Oh, shiny. No time.
Hey,
I remember that person's face.
Pro brain, not neurodiverse brain, please. That's me.
Honestly,
I have to write this. Ooh.
You're telling me that all neurodiverse individuals are now Corvidae?
I'm
okay with it.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd be okay with
Like-
being, if not a crow, then a raven.
We'll just call ourselves Clan Corvidae from here on out, yeah?
Corvidae,
It's a pretty cool name, I'm just saying.
Are we just changing the name of the, like, is it?
This is this adventure group.
I see.
Alrighty, so yeah, you're going to be furiously attempting to capture that moment. I'm just going to say no roll is required. You are going to be at the point you're basically consuming an entire action plus your movement plus your incidental to do this. I'm totally okay with saying you, quote, get it recognizable.
Nice.
You are able to capture the moment you have in your brain in semi-impermanence in the mud and what have you of the
Just enough that she can then draw it properly.
Exactly. I think at this point, when your sister turns around, like I say, calmly reaches into the saddlebag that you were leaning on to pull out the paper and pen, sort of the paper and charcoal, to see you already etching it down on the riverbank. I think it's going to be at that point that she realizes that whatever it is going on is important, as opposed to you just being the ridiculous younger sister again.
I know I'm a dickhead most of the time, but not this time.
Spider, you are going to continue running, I take it?
Phone running.
All right, you round the corner. Basically the two girls are on the opposite riverbank from you. You have the flower bed of carnivorous flowers, the front of the inn. You can hear there's a few people have opened the door of the inn and are looking outside with shocked expressions on their faces. There are faces pressed against the windows, looking out to see what it is. The glitter of lights, glowing crystals hanging off the lampposts are around. There's the soft glow of all of the flowers in the flower beds. You can see off in the distance the very thin lights of the gate. The one thing you aren't seeing is your brother.
Or like a storm?
Or a storm. There's a little bit of dust hanging in the air, about 15, possibly 20 feet ahead of the doors of the inn. Little pieces of leaves, dust, swirling as though caught in a breeze, and slowly drifting to an idle rest.
I'm sure I could address this cliffhanger by asking Nadine's character. But why would I do that when it's the perfect time for us to wrap up for the evening?
So I think, Jasper's just going to come to a halt, looking around and realizing this ain't right. However, we are immediately going to shift the camera back to Alexandre and to Chevalier, alone in the dark. Because in just a few moments, battle trance is going to shut off. Alexandre? Mm-hmm.
Just kind of touch him, because he's the same form that he was when they...
Mm-hmm. I think at the very threshold of your hearing, Alexandre's hearing, you're going to start to hear the song. Faint. I don't think you realized that you had actually had a full moment of absolute silence when you were just putting your hands on this suddenly strange form. The world was absolutely still, inside and out. I think suddenly you begin to hear the song begin to play again. The swelling tones begin to lift. I think perhaps you're going to start to see little sparkles of perhaps off-color lightning, just inchworm, little sparks over Chevalier's form.
What good are you? Really?
I was just thinking that.
What?
As you say that. So this whole time, because he's still got that poison on him, which is sort of like eating away at him. But you see, it kind of looks like on one side it's not so much getting, like it's not like eating away any faster, but it is sort of like, it's almost like bits are being sort of pulled away. It's being sort of, that's some of it is that same sort of powder that was happening before. And then down the arm closest to you, there's this sort of like mix of the black of his chassis, the white of his armor, the gray of his creations, his reinforcements, his drones. Kind of moves down his arm and starts to coalesce. And more of him starts to crumble. And then in his hand, this shape is taking form. It's about roughly the size of like a jewelry box. Doesn't seem to have, but it doesn't have like hinges. It just looks like a box. It's like a solid thing. Mostly are that same gray. And as you watch, out of the white material that his armor was made of is the Donadu crest is forming. It's in a sort of like a semi-liquid. It's almost like liquid clay at this point. And it sort of forms, and then it sort of solidifies. It's almost like it just, not like a transition, it kind of just locks into place. And then the rest of him crumbles to nothing, except for the faceplate and the box.
I don't think Alexander.
No.
As soon as you touch it, it kind of clicks. And where there was no lid, there is now sort of going around the crest, there is a lid that sort of looks like it would hinge open. Inside it seems to be similar to there's more of the black material of his chassis. There is 3 objects inside. There is what looks like, it kind of looks like if someone took like a bore sample, like a cylinder has been like punched out of the black material, and then someone shattered one end of it. And that's just sitting in the middle and it's like held in place so it doesn't roll around. On top of that, there is a well-worn picture. I'm not sure, like tech level, it's either a photograph or it's like a small drawing or something, but it is the entire Anvil Heart Company. All of them, including the ones that passed away. They're all looking very young. The person who's clearly Elena, looking not much older than Alexandre is now. And then the final thing is a neatly folded letter. And the other thing in the box is on the underside of the lid, there is an inscription. And it just says, "For Alexandre, one of the few of whom I would trust my heart and soul."
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we will end it for this week.
Woof.
Now, this is the part where I'm obligated to be a nice guy and ask you, is everyone okay?
I'm hurting. Do it more.
Well, yeah, I'm okay with that answer. I really am.
It's a good burn.
That's just what I wanted to check.
My eyeshadow.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, funnily enough, the light that starts dimming and is like, hey, oh, maybe you should go to bed. Like, that's literally what the light.
I deeply doing this too just before bedtime.
Yeah. Great.
I'm
fine.
Okay.
Alexandra's not.
Okay. That is the important part. As long as Chantal and Sam are okay, and as long as Jamie and Nadine are okay, then it's good. I don't mind torturing.
That was awesome.
I don't mind torturing the characters. I deeply mind torturing the players. So yeah, my fault. So yeah, that's all I'm checking. Wow, hell of a scene. Just so it's been said. I feel privileged to have been part of that. So next week we will find out what it is that Renishi saw, and then there's a couple of big decisions that have to be made, and that's what next week's session will be all about. So as is traditional with me, because you got your character killed, I'm throwing you out of the campaign. Sorry about that, Sam. And no,
Nice.
you and I need to talk about what you want to do next and figure out how that's going to fit in. Yeah. And that's it. So it seems really, really trite to do the whole goodbye, come find me on Twitter thing at this point. So unless someone feels a real powerful need, I think the correct answer is just fade to black, and we'll see you all next week. You can do that.
Okay, sure.
She's gonna turn the lights out on her side.
I'm gonna just.
Put all our contacts in the chat rather than go through them here.
Yep.
Hey, I'm back. I'm back with a different set of lights because apparently they don't.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that I made my picture black and white.
Yeah.
I noticed that, and you nearly made me cry again. So thanks. I'm grateful.
So that's it. To catch you all next week. Thank you for joining us. Okay, you're gonna pop that in there. Yeah, right.